You are now entering a dangerous liberty zone where God-given natural rights are held sacred and exercised. This is your warning. Tyranny, fascism, and censorship will not be tolerated. Ideas will be exchanged freely. Rigorous debate and open discourse is encouraged. If you are weak and your beliefs are fragile, you should leave now. Prepare yourself. We are now live on the Dangerous Liberty Podcast. All right, folks, what is happening? Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Dangerous Liberty Podcast. We have a great guest for you, but more importantly, we had all kinds of craziness happen today. Right now, we're just doing what good Americans do and defeating communists left and right, and we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. But I do want to say hi to everybody over in the chat. Texas Motherbird, Nikki Freedom, the Duke Norris Show. We got Noah's Mommy, we got V Scott, Air Jeff, Texas Motherbird. Air Jeff, remind me to address the comment that you sent me earlier on X. I want to talk about that some more too, to a little bit. Dr. Altoids and many, many more. And folks, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, you subscribe, and down in the description below are a couple things I want you to pay attention to. Number one, our members only link. If you'd like to become a member and support us, it's a couple bucks a month. It goes a long way. But also down in the description below are all of the links to Older Millennials, all of his social media. Make sure you go follow him, give him a follow. He's great. I've been following him probably for, I don't know, well over a year. And it's awesome to finally get him on the show. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and welcome the Older Millennial. What's up, buddy? Joe, how are you?
It's an absolute pleasure. You say you've been watching me for a year. I've been watching the hell out of you. And I saw like there was a big blow up, you know, when all the, let's just say the Candace tomfoolery started. Yeah. And I was glad to see you at the center of it.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, I just found out right before, I don't even know. Do you care if I tell people about your background? I didn't know that you
you're fine.
Yeah. All right. So, you know, he's a fellow SF guy. He was a group. I didn't know that. Didn't have a clue.
No. Wait, just to be clear, I wasn't a long tabber. I was just in 7th group.
Gotcha. Okay, so you were assigned a group of support. Awesome. Either way, appreciate your service. Thank you very much. And glad to have another group guy with us on the channel. I'm glad to hear that. No, so yeah, you know, a lot of that stuff was going on, and you know, it wasn't a subject that I wanted to dip my toe into, but I felt I needed to. Felt it was important. And I think especially in the last few weeks, I think we really see what thing has turned into. And I don't know. I'm glad I did. There was lots of times I was regretting it, but I'm glad I did. But if you will, take a minute and just tell everybody about you.
So I'm a content creator. I mainly stick to politics, current events. I really never expected to be doing this at this point in my life. I was working on Wall Street, and then COVID hit, and I got into yelling at my phone, and it's blown up to become this. And I gotta say, I'm having the most fun of anything I've ever done in my life. So all I can hope is that people stay as absolutely insane politically as they currently are, because I never run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, and especially in this day and age, there will never be a lack of things to talk about. I will be thankful, though, when we no longer have to talk about Candace Owens or anybody within her orbit. I hope that is sooner than later. But folks, we had a bunch of stuff going on. If you're not following us on X, you should be. And a lot of stuff going on today. For those that you've been watching, you've known a little bit about this. I'm going to try to be nice. This woman, Elizabeth Lane, again, I knew who she was. I was following what she was doing, but I never commented on any of her stuff. And then out of the blue, she came and started talking crap to me in one of my posts about Candace. And it's been kind of going on ever since. And I want to share this video with you real quick, how it started and how it's pretty much ending today. So we'll play this.
Well, this Russian agent here that he calls Russian agent went ahead.
And I should have, I was making this video right before I got here, folks. Up to the moment I was late. I usually get on here and talk with guests for a few minutes, but this is where this started. I never interacted with her at all, but she decided to come down in my comments. Wow, I've never seen an ugly man obsessed with a beautiful woman before. You are so original, Gary. Military. She is a journalist, folks. This is a serious journalist. Take her seriously. How are you a pathetic loser obsessed with Candace Owens? And then she said a bunch of other comments, made a bunch of different posts, and she uses pussy. She can't even spell it. Every other word is pussy. All, extreme language here, folks. Just, I mean, the sleaziest woman that I honestly honestly, have ever interacted with in my life. But let's see how this goes.
Well, this Russian agent here that he calls Russian agent went ahead and did what needs to be done. Send the information to a friend of mine at the FBI.
Hold on, so let me get this right. So you contacted someone. You have explain. So you have an FBI connection to reach out about Gary?
A friend of mine is worked for the FBI for the longest time, and he has access to all of the databases, everything. So I was like, you know what? This is how we're going to do this.
All right, so here's my post. Elizabeth Lane just admitted to federal crimes, major federal crimes. FBI Director Cash, FBI criminal leak, potential espionage report. A Georgian immigrant who is pro-Russian, pro-Putin, anti-American propagandist admitted on a recent podcast that she has a friend who's a former FBI agent. She claims he still has access to the FBI database and is now doing illegal inquiries into civilians. Unbelievable.
Here's what Gary needs to do. Gary needs to pick up the phone and call the FBI.
So that's where we're at, folks. That's where we're at with all of this. So that is Elizabeth Lane, the Timu secret spy from Russia, allegedly.
So she just publicly admitted to federal felonies?
Yeah. She said,
and her friend's career is over. Whatever the hell he's doing now, that's over.
100%. If that's what was taking place. Well, you notice she said a lie. She said a lie. And then when her buddy on there challenged her on it, he's like, hold on a second. You're telling me that you have somebody at the FBI? He's like, well, he used to be at the FBI. And now she's backtracking a little bit. But still, he still has access to all the database. So your buddy that used to work at the FBI has access to all the databases, giving you information from what other information has she shared? Is this guy a former deep state operative? This woman has so many different links going back to Russia, and she's just a construct, folks. You start researching this chick, there's all kinds of conflicting information. None of it makes sense. She's from Georgia, allegedly. Folks, coming from the Soviet bloc, birth certificates are fungible. We don't know if she actually came from Georgia or anything else. And by the way, most people from Georgia are very anti-Russia, anti-Putin, and she is just the opposite. I'll pull up another post where she was on with Buckley Carlson, and she's literally calling for a revolution, a violent revolution, here in the United States. This is a woman that's an immigrant. I don't know if she has her citizenship or not. I don't know if she's on a green card. I don't know any of those things. But what I can tell you is, regardless, I don't care if she has direct ties or indirect ties. She is a mouthpiece, nothing more, nothing less than for Russia. She pushes pro-Russia propaganda, anti-American propaganda all day long, and she loves Russia, loves Putin. And her only criticism against Putin is that he hasn't killed Zelensky himself. He hasn't killed enough people in Ukraine. That's her biggest criticism of Putin.
And my biggest thing when it came to her was she was so obviously just a construct, because she came out of nowhere and suddenly had access to Tucker and Candace and Megan, and because you don't get that access without somebody creating you. Because I know the time it takes to build yourself up as a content creator or even on the political stage, and hers, it was instant. She was a nobody who suddenly had access to everybody, and it was that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of the other people that she's done interviews with. John Carricow, also freaking Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Buckley Carlson, Candace Owens. These are, folks, this is the web of foreign malign influence operators that we've been talking about. And again, what they're pushing, they're attempting to undermine the president of the United States by with it through this idea of this, this crazy hoax of an investigation into Charlie Kirk. I mean, it's laughable at this point. I bet Putin is just pissed right now because we deserve better ops than this.
But I mean, you got to see it is just a hate America circuit, whether it's Tucker, Candace, Caroline, now Elizabeth, like that whole web is just they just trade each other around to be able to spout their bullshit. And they make it seem like somebody's popular by all having the other one on in crisscrossing fashion to make it seem like somebody's really popular or somebody's important. And it really just is a trash America circuit of people who recognize that, like, let's be real, hating America, there's a lot of money in that. There's a lot of money in stirring up hatred against America. There's a lot of money in stirring up hatred of our relationship with other countries. And I mean, they're smart. It's smart to do, but Elizabeth very obviously screwed up pretty damn bad.
Yeah, and I posted about this today. What these grifters have done is they've capitalized because of everything that the Biden administration, all the lies, January 6th, COVID, the stolen election in 2020, the weaponization of the DOJ, whether we're talking about January 6th or against Trump himself, the weaponization of our intelligence community, the Hunter Biden laptop, nothing to see here. James Comey, Clapper, Ray, like all of these people that were this deep state globalist agenda that was directed at the American people and ultimately at Trump. Because people are so skeptical of the government, especially on the right, we now have these grifters that are exploiting that. They know that almost by default, anything that the government says, they're going to go with something the exact opposite. They realize that, and they're exploiting these people, and they are just abusing them for clicks and views, so they can tell them anything other than what the government says. And they've, you know, these people, like, they go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and it doesn't matter. It's like what you just told me. Now you said that doesn't count anymore because now you're giving me this other theory that you said was 100% true, like the, I don't know, the Jewish sniper, the French foreign, like whatever it is. And now you're telling me, no, we're going to move to this next one. So, like, even though you've lied to me multiple times, and people like me, you, and everybody else continually point out their lies, like these people are like, give me the next thing. Give me the next thing. It's fun. It's interesting. I get to pretend that I'm an investigator too, and I get to join in on the fun. And they will just gobble this up. And then what they've managed to do, and I'm disappointed in this, what they've been able to manage to do is been able to smuggle in this Jew hatred, this anti-Israel nonsense, which is really dividing our party. And it's wild to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it's so wild to, like, the narratives never work long term. They're like short-term claims, and as soon as that claim is no longer convenient, they just forget it happened. Like, I seem to remember Candace telling us that there was a French baguette / Israel hit squad coming after her, and she couldn't travel to Arizona because her life was in danger, and the Macrons had paid to have her murdered, but she can go to Russia. She can go to, like, she feels safe in Russia, not Arizona. Arizona's too dangerous. Russia, safe. And that's the thing. It's like, did the hit squad just get tired? Did they, like, I'm still waiting for an explanation of how a hit squad that she said she had evidence the Macrons paid them, that they suddenly just gave up.
Well, she was able to shake them off her tail at Dollywood that weekend. So
this is true. While she posed with fans.
She did a couple of counter surveillance routes, and she was like, I got you. I see you with your freaking Jewish baguette.
Well, no, but that's the thing is, like, anybody, like, the way she spun the narrative of the Egyptians coming in and things like that to a layman who's only ever watched movies, sure, that sounds like what might happen. But in reality, like, we know, like, when your operations in another country, and I'm not saying hit squads or anything like that, but we wouldn't even check into a hotel. We would have had somebody in country 6 months prior rent a property that was unoccupied. We'd go stay there. We'd never go anywhere where there's cameras. We wouldn't be renting cars. We would have purchased shit cars that were already left at the house. Like, we would have planned this far in advance. But the way she laid it out, it makes sense if you're watching, like, Jason Bourne. But if you're actually looking from a smart tactical standpoint, nothing that the hit squad did made any sense tactically.
Well, I mean, you're not buying that they did a final brief down at Fort Huachuca the day Pryor at the Joint Task Force Southern Border, and then Mitch
You
Snow.
You mean when people just accidentally got to wander into this high level hit squad meeting?
What? Why don't you buy that? That's
like the simple thing of
Candace said Mitch Snow was very credible. He was very, as a matter of fact, she said she prayed. I mean, this was divine intervention, Joe.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
You have to think about the ridiculousness of wandering into a skiff. like, wait a minute, he wandered into a skiff? Are you shitting me? We got into a fight with the ambassador in Yemen because he couldn't get into the skiff. And he was the ambassador to the country. It's like, but yeah, he just wandered in.
Like, it was the layers of stupidity that unfortunately people believe. So first of all, we have a covert operation taking place where we are going to assassinate a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil. And we decide that I guess we're going to just gather together a bunch of colonels, a bunch of light colonels, and sit them around the room, and we're going to brief them on this. And I guess the implication is we're using all of the units that are assigned at Joint Task Force Southern Border, just like regular Army guys. So like this black op, we're not gonna do this briefing with people in civilian clothes and like freaking pipe hitters that have been doing this for a long time at some black site where we have a little bit of security, a little anonymity. No. We're going to go to Joint Task Force Southern Border at Fort effing Huachuca, and we're going to bring some colonels in here that would lose their minds if you even see, like, you were in the military. Like, could you imagine going up to like a group of 10 colonels? Hey guys, here's what we're going to do. We are going to go up to Utah, and we are going to assassinate. I know it's illegal. I know you're going to lose your career. You're probably going to end up in jail for the rest of your freaking life. And I know also that you being great Americans, you swore to uphold and defend the Constitution. But I don't know. We'll be able to give you a little bit of BS here, dazzle you with some nonsense, and convince you that like it is now legal and now a good thing that we're going to assassinate Charlie Kirk. And we're going to do it right here at Fort Huachuca. And then on top of that, we have freaking frumpy Mitch Snow walk into, I guess, the skiff and just happens upon this meeting. And like Brian Harpole's there, Erica Kirk's there the day prior. I don't know what she was doing. No one's been able to explain that to me, why she was there the day prior, but she didn't attend the briefing. Cabot Phillips is there. Congressman Amade is there. Like, it is the dumbest thing on the planet that you could even like. And on top of that, she predicated that whole thing with like, folks, what I'm getting ready to tell you. The only thing I can see after I'm done with this, the U.S. military, the government is going to have to come out, and they are just going to have to confess that the U.S. military was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Bizarro world, bro.
Well, that was her best, is when she was like, well, we've made all these accusations and we've shown all this evidence. I think it's crazy that this doesn't warrant a response from the president. It's like, Candace, I don't know who put it in your head that your insane statements would attract the attention of the president. But like you said, with let's just say this operation were to go down, nobody would be in uniform. Nothing would happen on bases. You would never involve a colonel. Like, this would be a strictly team level thing, because that's about the only grouping of people you could convince to break the fucking law. You're never convincing the colonels to do it, because those guys are just trying to get the retirement and chill. And it's like, and also you wouldn't bring in all these people from Turning Point. Like, the whole thing is, it sounds like it should be directed by Michael Bay, right? Like, there should be a lot of explosions. There should be car chases, because that's how fantastical it sounds. And the fact that I saw people who were like veterans being like, well, yeah, that's how it would happen. And I was like, what you fucking supply? Like, what did you do that you think that's how this shit goes down?
Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, it's still, and she's still defending. And now she's getting sued by Brian Harpole. She's going to lose that suit. And I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, the best is watching her look at all these legal battles and go, hey, can you guys help me raise money? It's like, you you're a multimillionaire. Like your husband is literally a baron.
Yeah.
He's literally royalty. And you need other people's money. It's like even the Macrons that are suing her. She has more money than the Macrons. It's like, how are people giving you money? I hope one day I get rich enough so that people give me money. That would be lovely.
Yeah. And, by some estimates, she's made somewhere between 30 and like 60 million off of this. Just since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, between, obviously views and product sales and the ad revenue and sponsorships and all of the things. And yeah, she's out there saying, hey, you know what? I need help with my legal services. I need help with security because, and that's the other thing too. It's like, okay, you're going to tell us that you have information that the French decided that they were going to get involved in this. It was weird that like all the people that they hate, that she hates, suddenly combined forces and went after Charlie Kirk. And that's the explanation, not Tyler Robinson. Don't worry about the guy that was on the roof. No, don't worry about the guy that confessed in 5 different platforms. Don't worry about the guy that his parents turned him in. But you're going to tell us that the French, okay, fine. Give me something. Give me some evidence. No evidence.
Anything.
No evidence. Like, I'm just like, we're going to use anonymous sources, unverifiable information from anonymous sources. And then going back to your point about the, international hit squad. Like, she's like, yeah, I turned this information into the FBI. Okay. Like, and then she says, well, actually what I did, I sent someone a text and then left me on red. Like, are you kidding? Like, you're not even going to give us any evidence that you actually reported this through any official channels. If you knew that, I don't know, international special operations hit squad was coming after you, and you were worried about you and your family, would you not make sure that was reported? And would you not be doing content on that every single day? Like, hey, you know what? Here's my email. Here's the reply. And no one's gotten back to me. I'd be outraged if
I legitimately thought that there was an international hit squad after me. It would be the only thing I would talk about. And also, like, you have to think about Elizabeth Lane said that shit today, right?
Yep.
You have already done more to report that incident to the FBI than Candace has done in 7 months to report her stuff. Like it's very quick, guys. Reporting to the FBI does not take a lot of effort. Nope. And she hasn't even done that. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, if I honestly believe there was an international hit squad after me, I'd be banging on the FBI's door. Like, yo, help her brother out here. Like, but all she could do is send a text. And that's the end of her reporting. She cares about her husband and her kids and her family, but all she can do is send a text. And how can she be expected to do more? I mean, it would be crazy to ask her to, I don't know, maybe submit an official report. Maybe actually go there. I mean, that's crazy talk.
No, it's really crazy talk. And I caught it right away. She was like, I reported to DHS, I reported to this person, I reported to this person. And if I did that and it wasn't true, that would be a lie. Well, you know what's not, and that would be I would be breaking the law. Well, you know what's not against the law? Lying to your audience that you actually reported this stuff to the DHS, FBI, counterterrorism, whatever, right? So, and again, folks, let me throw this up here. Look, I sent a report in exactly this, and I'm telling you 15 minutes later, we saw a response on Twitter. Hey, the FBI response team was like, hey, we're looking into this, right below my original post. So she doesn't even have that, and her life was on the line.
I'm going to have so much fun watching Elizabeth's deportation.
It'd be so great.
I'll live stream that shit.
That's the thing. I don't know. Well, I don't know if she is, I don't know if she's a citizen or not. I don't know if she's
she's a creation. She's just a creation. I look at her the same way I look at Ian Carroll. Because like I saw Ian Carroll hit the scene and I was like, okay, this dude. But then when he started getting real political about his stuff, I just was like, all right, let me see if I can find any record of his existence before 2024. And that person did not exist anywhere on the internet. Like, he has somehow managed in the age of information to be nowhere online before 2024. And I was like, okay, what is more of an industry plant than somebody in 2024 who is wildly successful on social media didn't exist 2 years ago? That seems a little iffy to me.
Yeah. I have some information I'll send Johnny and Carol. You can do what you want with that. I do want to show you this. I want to show you guys her response to that video that I posted that it ultimately did tag the FBI on. Let me pull this up here. It says, "Hey, Gary, I see you're still a pathological liar. What have I lied about, Elizabeth? I still haven't received an apology for your lies. You've already told to you very." Folks, this is a journalist. "You've already told to you very little audience, and you're continuing to lie to the FBI by tagging them your lie that you know is false. Like, learn to punctuate and learn to spell, chick. You know what that is, bitch? That's breaking the law." Folks, did you know that if you tag someone, if you tag the FBI in a post on X, you were breaking the law?
Well, you're not. Well, you obviously aren't allowed to do that.
No, you can't do that. Freedom of speech and all. And I specifically said he worked for the FBI and NYPD, and he has a private detective firm. Is that what you said? We're going to go back and we're going to play the tape to see if that's what you said. Have you ever heard of a private investigators once you leave the force? Or is that something new to you, princess? What's wrong, Gary? Is your ass burning now that real investigators are onto you? Like,
but I gotta say, that's the craziest part is the balls on these people.
Yeah.
Where you literally, if you scroll up, you have the recording of her saying it, of what she actually said, and she has no problem in that same thread. Like, she didn't even separate it in the same thread going, "This is what I said," and it's like, that doesn't match up with what you actually said. But of course, her followers will come to her defense because they can't be bothered to look shit up.
No. They won't look at it. Let's see
that he called.
And I don't care if he was FBI, because first she tried to lie and just say he was FBI, because this is all intimidation, folks. And that's what this chick does. That's why she's such a loudmouth on X. She's used to people being intimidated by this nonsense. Like, chick, I've been to combat 4 times. Like, your mean words and your empty threats mean nothing to me. Like, I can't even tell you how, like, a little of a reaction that you're going to get out of me. It means it's not going to stop anything that I'm doing. Anyways, let's hear what she has to say, because again, she's already trying to completely revise history.
"Well, this Russian agent here that he calls Russian agent."
Oh, hold on. Thanks. That would be helpful. Good call, Jen. Good call. There we go. Let's redo this.
"Well, this Russian agent here that he calls Russian agent went ahead and did what needs to be done.
Okay.
Send the information to a friend of mine at the FBI."
Hold on. So let me get this right. So you contacted someone. You have explain. So you have an FBI connection to reach out about Gary?
A friend of mine is worked for the FBI for the longest time, and he has access to all of the databases, everything. So I was like, you know what? This is how we're going to do this. "Well, this Russian agent here."
So if they would have let that lie, if they hadn't challenged her on it, it would have been, "Hey, I sent it to my friend at the FBI." She's just a liar. I mean, this is all this chick does is lie. And then when she's done lying, she lies some more. I mean, she's in perfect company with Candace Owens. I mean, they are besties. They both have Charlie coming to them in their dreams. So, I mean, they got a lot in common with that.
But that's the crazy part. Like, you look at that picture, it's the video and then that comment. Like, there's no shame, where she literally has the video right there and then just lies about what she said. And I guarantee you, if you open that thread, there's probably hundreds of people saying, "Oh, she didn't say she sent it to somebody who used to work at the FBI or has access to database." Like, they'll just ignore the actual truth. And that's what gets really annoying when dealing with these people is they're just not in the realm of, like, we're not living in the same reality.
No, you know what a lot of them were saying was like, Gary, you're cooked now. She has a friend at the FBI. That's how they were spinning this. Like, oh, you're cooked now. They're going to report you. What did I do? I'm not the one admitting to multiple felonies and federal offenses in a podcast, you moron. But they will spin it, and then they're freaking clapping seals of an audience will just say, "Yep, that was great. She's kicking his butt," and well, we'll see where that goes.
Well, and the funny thing is, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, Jim. I was just gonna say that was my photo that she posted on that was on her text message, and she was asking for my bank accounts, my social security, my address, my name. I'm a private individual. And what she's doing is doxing and committing felonies. And exactly what is she going to do with that information?
That's the even better question is, say she did have somebody who would get her that info. What is she going to do with your social security number?
Well, she said she wanted to ruin me. Like, she literally said it. It's in the text message. We are going to ruin this woman. And then she said that she's going to do an entire episode on me, who is a private individual.
I am going to send you a great bottle of bourbon to celebrate her deportation.
Love you, Joe.
Let me throw this up here too, because let me just show you what we have going on here. So Pig War just posted that. Love Pig War. If you guys aren't following Pig War, go follow her. Gary. She doesn't know how to spell my name, so like it's either 1 R or 2 R. So we're just gonna go with both of them. I did not admit anything I said. My friend is former FBI and he works as private detective. Bitch, you jealous? He is also an NYPD detective. So stop lying to people. I told you, continue lying and we will go to court. Said specifically he used to work for the FBI. God, you super scared. Folks, this is a journalist. I mean, this is a serious woman that we should be taking seriously. She can't spell. Again, this is insane. Of course, then I got Buckley Carlson all up in my comments as well. He said, not only do you accuse her of a federal crime, but you post a link that doesn't support the accusation at all. And then you type,
Gary, it's not showing on the screen.
Dude, I'm hitting the buttons. I don't know what's happening.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure you're doing it right.
No, I'm
look, we are former Army. We are supposed to be technology agnostic.
Exactly. Not only do you accuse her of a federal crime, all of a sudden Buckley Carlson's coming to her rescue. Never talked to this guy. First he starts off calling me a fraud. And then you tag the DOJ and the FBI director, which is by any standard, but surely the vaunted Green Berets, egregiously brown-nosed, full pussy actually. Foreign malign influence operation. Please elaborate. What do you want me to do, Buckley? What do you want me to do? You want me to just grab some kit and go kick in her door and do what we do? No, I'm first of all, I swore to protect and defend this country from from enemies, foreign and domestic. I see her as an enemy. Look, I don't know if she has direct connections or not, and I don't really care. What I can tell you is that I know what she is. She is a pro-Putin, pro-Russia propagandist here to cause issues and to stir up trouble and to undermine my country. And I'm not going to put up with it. I'm going to point it out. And she lies time and time again. I can go through this entire podcast and just pointing out her lies. And we've already hit some, but wait till you get her on an audio stream where she's actually on a podcast. She'll just continue to sit there and lie. And just like Joe pointed out, these people just buy it and they make excuses for them. And when you point out they're lying, somehow you're the bad guy.
And that's the thing is, I didn't even know Buckley existed, first of all, until recently. Like I was in Israel, and apparently that just stirred up some feelings in him. So he decided to start engaging with me. I legitimately thought it was just some bullshit account of somebody who loved Tucker Carlson. And I was just like, I don't know who this guy is. And one of the guys I was with in Israel was like, no, that's Tucker's brother. I was like, oh shit, an even less credible Carlson. This will be interesting. So I started engaging with him, and I've never met that level of bitch in my life on X from a dude.
Right. I was like, Buckley, don't be mad at me that Elizabeth Only Spies is publicly admitting to federal crimes and exposing your foreign malign influence operations. I know it's embarrassing, but more importantly, let me go back to my profile.
I do love Elizabeth Only Spies. I like that.
I like it too. It was, it was a toss up between Elizabeth Kremlin Lane or Elizabeth Only Spies, and Jen did pull up Only Spies because I guess where were they saying that somewhere else, Jen? Anyways, she said she'd heard.
Yeah, there was another creator that called her. Oh no, it was in the Anti-Hero podcast. Mm-hmm. In their chat when she was on the Anti-Hero podcast, the guys in the chat were calling her Only Spies instead of OnlyFans.
I have heard from guys that are deep in this, the dark intelligence world, that the one way that you can tell if someone is a foreign malign influence agent is whether or not they can pronounce agent or patriot.
They're attacking patriots. They are 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 attacking patriots.
She can't spell. She can't pronounce basic English words. I mean, this is again, you couldn't find a better friend for Candace Owens. They have so much in common. It's not even funny.
Jesus.
Good fun.
She's just, and I gotta say, I can't tell if the co-host on that show was trying to save her or was trying to hang her out to dry. Because like he asked her that question, and I think he was like, I think he heard her say that and was like, that's a really bad thing to say out loud. Like, and show your phone, like you're out, like you literally showed your phone with this. And it had prior text messages on it too. Like I can't tell if he was trying to save her or not.
I think he was just caught off guard by it. I don't think it was trying to save her or cover for her. It was like, wait, what'd you just say? What'd you say? Because you and I, if we were talking to somebody, they're like, hey, you know what? And she's trying to do this as a flex. It's like, I know people. I know people in the FBI. My friend's FBI, and this is how we're going to do this. And, he has access to all these databases, and he's just going to legally throw these queries for, American citizens. Like, get out of here, woman.
And that's the thing is, like, those of us who served, we all have people who probably still work in the community. The one thing we never do is we're not going to ask them to do illegal shit, first of all. But the one thing we're not going to do is hang them out to dry, because that's going to be the first question when the FBI comes to her door is, I want to see that phone. I want to know who that contact is, because I want to know whether or not that dude's life is also over.
Yeah, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to show up with a warrant for that phone, and that's where it's going to start. And they're going to freaking exploit that phone. They're going to find out exactly who that person is, what they're doing, what ties they have, if this is true. And then she has the Eye of Sauron on her, no matter what. I don't care if she's lying. Like, now you have people paying attention to you that you probably didn't want paying attention to you. I do want to play this real quick. She is with Bucky Carlson.
Great.
And where she's calling for an armed revolution here in the United States. Here's this chick. This is what pisses me off the most. I don't care if she's from Georgia or from Russia or anywhere over there. She's clearly somewhere from the Soviet bloc. And she loves Putin. She loves Russia. There is no way that she wouldn't be in jail and or even being tortured, getting away with saying the things that she says about my country in this country that she's advocating for and against the person. She talked about Putin the way that she does Trump. She talked about Russia in Russia the way that she does the United States, while saying, hey, you know what? America is great. Like, she would be locked up immediately. And then she wants to come out, and it's not just me. There's other, like, her and Candace, they talk trash on veterans all the time. And here they are, they're accusing the military of killing Charlie Kirk. Like, if that doesn't outrage you as an American, like I don't know what will. But let's hear
that's the insanity to me with the claim of the U.S. military being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
As somebody who, like, I love Charlie. I thought he was a wonderful human being. I had the pleasure of getting to talk to him many times. And if I honestly had that thought in my head, I mean, I'm going to war with the American government at that point. Like, that's going to be the only focus of my life, is if I think that my government killed my friend.
Yeah.
And so to believe that and still just conduct business on a daily basis like a normal human being, I'm not capable of that level of self-control.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Let's hear what she has to say about this with old Buckley Carlson himself.
Well, in doing so.
Listen, I have an idea, okay? People get very weirded out about this stuff, but I don't know how much you know my character, but I just don't care. I always say what I think and let the consequences apply. I believe that the only option we have here is a revolution. So somehow American people have been conditioned into believing that violence is always bad. It's always bad. Really? Because history only proves that without violence, there is no change. I mean, argue that, please. You know, like our country was founded on that. We literally went violent against Brits. And that's why we had what we had for the longest time. So no, I don't believe that your vote, your peaceful protests or whatever is going to change anything. So there's a reason why you were given guns in Second Amendment. There's a reason why this was put in your Constitution, right?
Folks, if this isn't Russian propaganda, anybody that knows what Russia's been doing for like the last 60 years, they've been using our own freedoms against us. They're the ones that have, pushed all the racial division back, going all the way back to the 60s and civil rights era, telling, the Black Panthers and other groups and all these other communist groups that you need to arm yourself, that you need an armed revolution. Folks, this is cut and paste from one op to the next to the next. And it's so obvious when you see, and I'm getting ready to build this. We're going to build out a link chart, Joe, and I'm going to show everybody exactly all these people that are in this orbit, that are pushing the exact same narratives over and over again, like a self-licking ice cream cone. And just like you pointed out, like we have Buckley Carlson going on her show, Tucker Carlson going on her show, Candace Owens going on her show. I'm surprised Joe Kent hasn't went on her show yet, but all these people are going on all on the same shows and pushing the same narratives.
It's a Russian narrative circle jerk is all it is. It's just them hanging out together, them having each other's back, and them promoting each other. And the ridiculous, and it's just like to hear her talk about armed revolution and also throw in a little refer to America as we. Like she casually referred to America as we, and it's like you cannot have anti-American bias that's so obvious and be we. Yeah. That's just not the way it works.
No, I couldn't agree more. Let me throw.
I am sadder in my life now that I'm having now known that Buckley Carlson exists, because like I was perfectly happy being ignorant of his existence.
Well, that was one of my responses to him. I was like, you're this beta male that nobody would even know about, except for the fact that your brother Tucker Carlson exists. Like that's the only reason. Like you've never done anything. You've never served anybody. You've never contributed an ounce to society. The only reason anyone even knows who you are is because you're Tucker Carlson's brother. Let's listen to some more of this drivel.
And I will just say, I don't know if you do apparel, but I did see somebody in your chat said we need an Only Spies shirt with her silhouette. I'm just saying that's a brilliant idea.
Well, let me remove this real quick. And we got Jen has this. She found this somewhere. Only Spies.
Oh shit.
No, I made that.
Oh, she made that. There you go.
That is wonderful. Although I gotta say, you definitely made her look too hot.
Well, that's the actual photo of her. That's been.
I pulled it directly off of her and off of her website.
Yeah, that's like her Patreon, her members only.
Oh, that's her bordering on. I don't say anything smart. So I mean, look at my tits and subscribe. Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha. I know those women.
This woman is an intellectual. Like, she is a hard-hitting journalist. I mean, this is what this woman does. You should see her write. I mean, it is like Shakespeare. It's amazing what she can write.
Gary, you should put up her DM to expose her writing genius.
You know what? I will. And I wish I had been taking screenshots of all of her original replies that were just like every other word was pussy, cunt, F you. Like, it was, I thought I was dealing with a deranged 14-year-old. I mean, that like this chick is psycho. It's like that 14, 15-year-old psycho girl that you broke up with that's going to smash your freaking vehicle windows or whatever else. Like, it
feels more like a Call of Duty lobby from the 90s.
Yeah, like I was expecting to walk into my house and like a rabbit's boiling in on the pot in front of me. That's what I was looking to see.
For hunting.
Right. It's definitely not for hunting. So, yeah, and it's certainly not for protecting your household at home when someone tries to get in. Like, police is specific force for that. No, it was given to you so that when your country is hijacked, you can take it back. Period. And no one in the world, Buckley, has that luxury other than the United States. We are a unique country here. No one was blessed by this. And somehow they castrated Americans into believing that this is an absolute no. They absolutely mentally traumatized them with January 6th. They told them, you dare protest violently, you're going to go to prison. And then you're going to sit there in a solitary confinement. And
protest violently, you go into the people's house, you trespass even when it wasn't a trespass the day before. Right. And they hunt you down with FBI squads, and the banks are complicit. And
for sure.
Yes, people have been completely programmed and traumatized by these fabricated events into believing that
my testosterone is dropping precipitously every time he utters a word. I'm pretty sure this dude is dating George.
Their Second Amendment right is
are they pro January 6th? I think that would go against their narrative.
There are so many like narratives being pushed simultaneously as we're listening to this that it's hard to keep up with, Joe. I don't know what they're trying to say here, to be honest with you. The only thing I know is that we have someone that's associated with a Soviet bloc over there that's like, hey, you know what? The one thing that Americans have that no other country has is the Second Amendment. You know what that's for? That's for overthrowing your country violently. I mean, my God, if that's not a color revolution, if that is not accelerationism right in front of your face, then I don't know what is. Like, I don't care if she is an American citizen. This chick should be absolutely arrested for inciting violence. That's what she's trying to do here, period.
Yep. And I got to say, this is the same group of people that pal around with people like John Kirkakow. Or Kirikaw, however you say his name, but who legitimately works for Russian state media.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they don't even hide their connections.
Nope. They flaunt it right in front of you. And that's why I'm saying,
and Gary, don't forget that Elizabeth Lane is the one that Candace read the post that Elizabeth Lane wrote about how Erica Kirk was a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still not feeling well.
That is one of the most disgusting things I've seen about this entire situation is, like, even with all the craziness of attacking the US government and things like that, what they've perpetrated upon Erica, it's disgusting to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that is the one thing that I legitimately can't stomach is the way they go after Erica. And it's like, and here's the thing, they all claim to be Christians and Catholics, and it's like, guys, if you read the Bible, it especially mentions widows, that you don't go after them, and they're doing it anyway. It's like and using the name of religion. It's like I'm not a deeply religious person, but damn, like, if you're gonna claim to be, like, I get all the craziness and trying to get views and stuff, but to try to tear down a widow just drives me insane.
Well, the other thing too is like we're a nation that's founded on some basic principles, and all throughout my life until up to this moment, it's been like, hey, you don't accuse someone without clear evidence that they're guilty of anything, much less murder, much less conspiracy to kill your husband. And then they go back and they pull out all these things and trying to find these things that, like, oh, she lied. She said she hadn't dated anyone in New York for 5 years, but she was actually dating this other guy. Was that guy in New York? No, but she lied. She lied. And oh my God, did you see the sparkly pants that she wore? Like, oh, evil. And did you see how she completely changed AmFest 2025 with all those pyrotechnics? And then you go back and you look at, AmFest 2024, 2023, Charlie coming out, pyrotechnics going everywhere, smoke everywhere. And it's like how do you people just lie like this? And then when confronted with those lies, you feel like you're taking crazy pills because the excuses they make, the way that they cope around it, and I don't know, man.
I can't imagine the amount of emotional strength that must have taken for, because I was at AmFest. I cannot imagine the amount of emotional strength it took for her to get through that. Like, this is her husband's baby, and that's where people crack me up. Like, people started talking about who's profited more from Charlie's death, Erica or Candace, and it's like, you do recognize Erica was married to the guy. She had all that shit. That was hers.
They're a nonprofit organization. She has a salary. She doesn't make more money based on freaking donations. But you know who does make more money based on clicks, views, super chats, selling merch, getting sponsors to come on and do ad time? Like Candace Owens. Like they're a 501c3 and a 501c4, TPUSA and TPUSA Action.
Yep.
And like the dumb things these people say, like they just like they come up with the wildest crap when it comes to whether it's the ballistics of this, whether it's the evidence presented.
Well, that's why I loved your original video. Like, you actually went to Utah. Yep. And I remember that was one of the first times I saw like your live broadcast when you were like, oh, how did he get up to the roof? And you were just like, well, he took these fucking stairs, these concrete stairs right here, and walked up here because everybody can do this. And people were blown away. They were like, and then I watched Candace go, oh, he must have been Spider-Man. And it was like, fucking Gary showed you the stairs. He didn't have to like snap hook up there and James Bond it. He just walked up the fucking stairs.
And she's still pushing that. She's still saying, oh, well, you want us to believe he scaled the roof like Spider-Man? Look, I was even shocked by that. I was shocked at how, like, that trip to UVU, if you think you know anything about this case, you have any opinions about this case, and you haven't been to UVU, like, you're a moron. Like, you need to at least go there or at least watch my videos. It gives you some additional perspective of what was going on. But the thing that struck me was that it was just so easy to do. It really was. It was so much simpler than even I had it kind of going through the charging documents. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go there and see if I believed what the charging documents said. And I was very skeptical. And then, after going there, I talked to like 5 or 6 eyewitnesses while I was there on the ground. I had additional ones come on my show. I've had like 5 or 6 eyewitnesses on the show. And that's the other thing too. It's like you get an eyewitness on there, and the moment that eyewitness is not saying what these people want to hear, they're like, oh, this person's was part of it. Like, how many people, I would like to know, I would like to hear some sort of coherent theory of what took place. How many people were involved? How many agencies had to be involved? And I would like to just come out with a number, because it's well over 400 or 500 at this point.
Oh, it has to be. I mean, if you just look at the amount of people that were dressed like Tyler,
yeah.
I mean, that was like 15, 20 right there. Like, because that's what she said. Anytime you saw Tyler, that was not Tyler. So that's a lot. Like, people don't recognize that if you have a conspiracy or even if you have a secret operation, say we're in the military and we have an operation we need to do that we need to keep pretty hush hush.
Yeah.
Our number one rule is involve as few people as possible. That is the number one. If you're going to have a conspiracy, if you're going to do some ill shit, have as few people as possible. In this, you had extras in the audience. You had colonels at Fort Huachuca. You had heads of security. You had fucking pilots. You had everything. Like the amount of people there would be more people involved in this conspiracy than if we faked going to the moon. Like it's insane.
Yeah, and on top of that, FBI agents, ATF agents, other freaking law enforcement agencies, other elements of those agencies. It's like
I couldn't get this many people to lie for me. No. I don't know what kind of friendships people have built. I at best could get maybe 5 people to tell lies that risk their career for me. And those are very, very deep friends. And again, most of the people that would be involved in this would be fans of Charlie.
Yeah.
Like you're talking these are like, I don't know a single dude in any of the units I've ever been in that had a problem with Charlie Kirk. Like you're telling me there's a unit in the United States military where all of them together are like, yeah, fuck Charlie. Like that's not a real thing.
Yeah. Let's completely violate our constitutional oath and let's just kill a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil
and put our entire careers, lives at risk for, I don't know what the goal would have been. Like, what would you even sell that as?
Not have a single whistleblower come out.
Nope. Well, it's because they kept the conspiracy to only about 500, 600 people.
That's true.
Like I'm telling you, immunity is a beautiful thing. Just offer it, and we'll get one of these, of this crazy conspiracy theory. It is wild to me that it's so. It's not wild that Candace claims it. Like this is Candace's MO. Something comes out, she picks the crazy side of it, and it makes her money. But it is wild to me the ease with which people bought into it. And how they ignore, like you had an evidence-based approach. You were like, I'm going to go to UVU. I'm going to evaluate the story. I'm going to evaluate each piece of it. And people were like, well, that's crazy. We can't believe you. We got to believe the woman who's never been there. Tells us about it.
Bringing this in the context, like I hadn't done a single thing. I wasn't paying attention to Candace Owens at all. I had no idea really what she was saying. At that
Bless you, by the way, for that.
Yeah. Like I was like doing my own thing. Hey, this is what we're doing. And I'll be honest with you. I was like, you know what? I'm like, now it's just pretty much time to wait for after I got back and I spent about a week going through footage and thinking about things and looking at what they had presented in the charging documents. I was like, all right, I was just kind of waiting for the trial. And then I mentioned this the other night. Like I saw a post somewhere around November, mid-November or so from Natalie Jean Beisner. And she was talking about Candace Owens on Instagram. And I'm like, and I still had positive, I don't know, like I still thought Candace was normal because I didn't follow her. But I remember seeing her on like, the Daily Wire, like, the TPUSA going back to that time. Like I saw her coming up and, she's pro-Trump. She's a conservative Black woman. She's very articulate. But she just wasn't somebody, she was in the periphery of social media. And you and I, like we pretty much run into just about everybody on social media just because of what we consume. And I always watch Charlie's content. So long story short, like it was probably late November where I was struggling with that. I was like, this chick's lying. I thought Natalie Jean Beisner was lying. And I was like, I'm going to go look at this episode that she's referencing. And I immediately recognized what was happening here. I saw the techniques. I saw the methodology that she was using that was clearly deceptive and was like information operations 101. I saw the priming. I saw the gish galloping that she was doing. Like I saw it right away. I was like, and then I started going through her older content and I saw lie after lie, deception, omission. Like I went back not long after that, I went back to, because I wanted to see, I was like, what did she say once the charging documents came out? So I went back to that episode and it was nuts. I don't know if you saw this, but like she didn't read the charging documents to her people. She had a piece of paper that had like 5 bullet points that were carefully selected of creating whatever narrative that she wanted that kind of referenced the charging documents. And then she omitted like 90% of it. I was like, yeah, this, like, no, I'm not going to sit here and stand by this. But I wrestled it with that. I was like, look, I'm going to lose 150,000 followers if I do this video. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to look at myself in the mirror if I don't. And so here we are. And now we have Candace in Russia at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, which is literally propagandist boot camp. They're pushing BRICS. They're pushing different Russian influence operations. Like, that's what that place is for. And she is all up in the Kool-Aid.
I got to ask, do you think Russia ever thought it would be this easy?
No, I don't. No, I think Candace started doing this on her own, and then a lot of other foreign adversaries and political adversaries saw an opportunity, started pushing her. And then once she got on the radar, like, she is the perfect mark for this, between her ego, her narcissism, and, you know, they're going to bring her over there and be like, look, you're amazing. We see what you're trying to do. You're trying to save your country, and we want to help you save your country. And this is what will save your country. Here's what we want, you know, kind of work with you on, you know, let us help you. And of course, as soon as she gets back and then pushing all the pro-Russian narratives that she's been convinced of, like, I don't even know, like, they're not going to sit her in a back room and say, look, Candace, we need to take down the United States and we need your help. No, they're going to sell her that she is going to be the national hero, and
she's the savior.
And you know, all of these people, like, Russia has wanted a good relationship with the United States forever. We're not the adversaries. As a matter of fact, we'd be so much stronger if we were together. And, you know, let's show you around Russia. Look how awesome it is. Look how awesome it is over here. How awesome it is over here. What you won't ever see in Russia is anyone protesting. What you won't see is a bunch of dissidents talking about Vladimir Putin. And so she's going to
everybody's so happy there.
They love it. There's no one that doesn't love it. If Putin had an election right now, he would win 99.9% of the vote. And then the other 300 people would be sent to the front lines of Ukraine the next day.
Well, the best part is, like I said, I'm not a long tabber, but what I did is I did human.
Oh, well, there you go.
So from my perspective is, it's so unbelievably obvious how it's going down. And like, you have a perfect evaluation of it, of how they're going to do it. Like you said, they're not going to pull her in a back room and be like, work with Russia to overthrow America. They're going to play to her vanity. They're going to be like, you are the savior, and we think that we need you to have a stable world and things like that. But the reality is, here I will toot my own horn on this. I talked shit about Candace even when she was on stage with Charlie. I called her, I've been calling her a piece of shit from the moment I was on social media, because her history is that of a grifter. Her history is only left the liberal side because she almost got a bunch of people prosecuted and ran out of funding, and then suddenly became conservative, and then bought in, and then was able to sell. I think it's one of Charlie's biggest mistakes in his life, was being sold on her as a person. And, you know, it won't change how I think about Charlie, but I at least, like, and I saw it from a human standpoint, where I was like, this is an op. This is a very obvious op. And people used to yell at me about it and be like, she should run for vice president. And I was like, keep her away from anything to do with the Conservative Party, because she is a problem.
Yeah. Again, you know, what she was a conservative construct. There was no depth to her. And I've said this before, folks, if you've never watched Candace's interview with Joe Rogan, where he starts really pushing or impressing on her regarding some conservative views, whether it was climate change and a few other ones. I don't remember all the things that they talked about, but you can see Joe Rogan was like, no, you're just parroting talking points. Like, no, tell me why you believe that. And she like giggles. And by the way, you know, even then she said she was an atheist. She didn't believe in God. I don't think she believes in God now. There's no way that you could do what she's doing and have a conscience and be as sadistic as she is and has been toward Erica Kirk. You just can't. And like, Candace is a clear problem. And she has uncovered the fact that we have a lot of gullible people that I wouldn't have thought that this amount of people, and without a doubt, there's bots, there's sock puppets, there's artificial boosting of all this stuff. And I think that's probably around 30%. So you take that 30% away, she still has millions of followers and millions of like hardcore cult level followers that will believe her no matter what. And while that's a problem, I still think this is still like phase one. This is whatever's going to happen here, and maybe they'll kind of snowball this. Maybe it'll keep growing. I hope not. I hope people out there that are watching this are going to become aware, start sharing content, start speaking out against all the lies that take place. But I think this is just phase one, and I think phase two will be a more sophisticated, less obvious op, and I think you're going to have somebody in there that is much more charismatic, that is much more believable, that is going to do the same thing that she's doing and selling us on our own demise, because that's what she's doing with her crowd right now. If Candace came back and said, you know what, BRICS would be the greatest thing ever, here's why, and whatever BS that she would say, her followers would absolutely believe that. So we have millions of Americans not understanding that if they are successful and unseating the American dollar as the world global financial standard, folks, like we're talking like $20 gas. We're talking about poverty all over this country.
But I could give you the argument she's going to use.
Let's hear it.
Here's the argument she's going to use. She is going to use the argument that America, with ousting people like Thomas Massey and other candidates like that, as we roll into the midterms, she's going to make the narrative about that America can no longer be trusted as the world currency because we're Jew controlled. So allowing America to be the world currency is allowing the Jews to control the currency. And the only way to separate ourselves from Jewish control is to go with something like BRICS so that we can remove the control and put it with countries that the Jews have no power.
So that's brilliant. You're absolutely right. Folks, mark this down. I mean, somebody cut that. Jen, write that down, because we're cutting that, and that's going to be in shorts. Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right on that. And can
I give you one more little conspiracy theory ish thing? So we kind of saw the shift of Tucker, Megyn, Brett Cooper, and Piers Morgan, right? We kind of saw that shift.
Yeah.
Now here's this is conspiracy theory-ish, but here's think about the timing of that shift. About mid-time last year, right? About midway last year is when that shift happened. It just so happens that the four people I just named all are owned by a company called Red Seat Ventures. Red Seat Ventures represents those four creators. Just so happens that right around that time period, Fox bought Red Seat Ventures. And then we watched Megyn and Tucker and all of them just shift. So to me, I look at it as controlled opposition, as media companies being like, look, let's control both sides of this fight. Let's play it again. Now, obviously, Tucker has his own love for Qatar and Iran and shit like that, because his entire media company was founded with a $48 million loan from an Iranian. But I look at it and I go, why does Fox own the four loudest voices that are anti-Trump at the moment? The four independent voices: Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Brett Cooper, and Piers Morgan. It's like, why does Fox own that? And they own a lot of, and if you go through the list, it's people like Link Lauren. I don't know if you know Link Lauren, TikTok creator has, but if you go through that list, it's what's her name? Gianna Michaels or whatever it is. I can't remember her name. The fitness person.
Last name is Michaels.
Jillian Michaels.
Jillian, yes. But I tell you right now, if you want to look at some crazy shit, look up when Fox bought them, and then just go to the Red Seat Ventures website, click on their content creators, and go down the list, and you'll go, oh, this is a who's who of telling Trump to go fuck himself.
Interesting. I've heard this conspiracy before, and there may be some truth to it. The only pushback I would give you on that is that I do remember like that going around, like Dana Lash and a couple other sane people saying we're on that same network. They've never tried to control us or whatever else. I don't know what happens with that. I almost get so tired of trying to assign motive because I think everybody's motive's different, right? I don't care if it's I am curious. Does that red?
This is a pretty common motive.
Yeah, it is a common motive. Real quick, Jen, just while I'm thinking about it, see if does her production have anything to do? Are they distributed by Red Seat?
They're not in Red Seat Ventures at all. They're completely independent, but they also are hid behind a lot of her push are hidden behind organizations where they don't have to reveal their money.
Interesting.
Because I've tried to see where her money comes from, but honestly, I think a lot of Candace's money, like people think Candace is crazy. I don't. I think she just knows how to make money. I honestly don't think she does this because she's nuts. I think she does it for two reasons. One, money. Two, she's still not over the fact that Charlie chose Erica over her.
Yeah.
Which I can't blame him.
I think she goes by a different metric, and it just happens to be tied with money, and that is influence. And I do think that's like her primary driving force. And of course, if you are highly influential, because the other thing too, and it's again, you can tie it directly to money, but I don't think that's quite how her mind works. You can see where, and she's even made the statement like I go where the people go, or something along those lines. She's made that statement in the past. But where I saw it very vividly was when she came back from the sit down with Erica Kirk. She basically confirmed the Fed slop. She was like, look, I talked to her, and it was definitely, Charlie was hit in the neck. The bullet ended up, she said it was a fragmenting bullet, a frangible bullet is what she meant. She's like, she talked to, or they showed text talking to the surgeon that used to be a hunter. Like, she confirmed a lot of the things that she had been pushing back on. And she was walking things back. And I think she saw that as an opportunity to have an off ramp. But because her chat went so wild down there and started going like, up, yeah, they got to her. They were saying stuff like the very next day.
Her chat was pissed.
Yes. The very next day, she was back on matter of fact, she started going hard after Erica. That was kind of where it started. And I don't think that was necessarily planned. And we can sit there and say, well, she was going to start losing views and losing money, and that ties into it. But I think it's just about influence, and like she wants the most amount of people supporting her. I think she gets off on that. I think she loves the idea that people are out there stalking and threatening Erica. We now have a bomb against her and TPUSA. I think she gets off on that. I think she likes that power. But those two things are so integrally connected that it's hard to differentiate one from the other for sure.
What do you think her pathway is after Tyler's convicted?
Well, here's the problem. We had Andrea Burkhart, and I've talked to some other lawyers as well and she's like, that trial is going to be at least 2 years away.
Mm-hmm. So
she's got a long time between now and then. I don't know how much she can sustain that content. Maybe she will be able to. I don't know. I definitely don't want to underestimate her. And I don't want to underestimate how low IQ and gullible her audience is. They're going to follow her no matter what. Like every episode is going to be the greatest episode ever. I do think she's going to start using some of the same tactics and going more political and start doing more shows. And the other thing too, like we were talking about this, like it is not by chance that she suddenly had on Hunter Biden and then Anna Kasparian. I mean, Anna Kasparian is a straight up socialist. And I think what she's trying to do is she's trying to shed this image that she's some sort of conservative so she can reach a larger audience and bring more of the left in. And I think we're going to start seeing this. She's going to be going the way of Megyn Kelly when it comes to politics. And I think, and like we just saw, I played a clip of it last night. did you watch any of the Sean Ryan with Megyn Kelly?
I did, sadly.
So, like back in, I don't know, December, January, somewhere in there, I was like, look, this is what's happening, folks. Like, and I've started calling it Project 2032. You got the Ian Carrolls, Baron Coleman's, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. I keep forgetting about Brett Cooper. That's wild that she went that way too. But all these people that are kind of centered around things. Number one, Trump's got to go because he has not fulfilled his promises. He's failing nothing.
Oh, he's also, according to them, he's owned by Netanyahu.
He's owned. Well, that's the other part of it. He's not getting anything done. The Epstein files this, the Epstein files that. We're not getting mass deportations. Forget about all of the other accomplishments that he's accomplished in spite of so much resistance in the last 18 months. So there's that part of it. And then there, of course, is the anti-Jew, anti-Israel part of it as well. And then the other big thing that they feel like they have leverage with is this isolationist movement. And what I've said is like their goal is to make sure that we lose the midterms, which that doesn't seem like it's working that well. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that with you. So they want to make sure that we lose the midterms. If we lose the midterms, we're going to lose 2028. And somewhere around there, they're going to develop this alternative candidate / party. I think their goal is to try to usurp MAGA and run on those. But I don't think they're going to be able to. So they're going to be relegated to running as a third party, which is just as damaging to the right as anything, right? I mean, that's their goal, to make sure that MAGA is not successful. And then now they have this opposition party potentially that they're running against the left. That they could, whoever gets in there as president, like, oh, that's terrible. We're the better solution. They want to do what MAGA did in 2016, and just basically remake really what it is. It's the globalist agenda repackaged for the right. That's what it is. Yep. It is horseshoe theory turned into a circle real quick. But going back to the midterms,
well, I did want to say for you, like, they've already built in the vehicle to be, you know how she started having Anna Kasparian and shit like that on. Yeah. She's already built the vehicle to approach those people. And the vehicle is anti-Jew, anti-Israel, right? Because if she has somebody on from the batshit crazy left, it's no longer about her reaching out to a leftist or a Democrat or a liberal. Now she's reaching out to somebody who's awakened to Israel's influence on us. So that's the vehicle in which they can use to approach any of the crazy people. They can just say, "Oh, well, as long as you're against Israel, then we can sell it that I'm not bringing on a crazy leftist. I'm bringing on somebody who's aware of Israel's massive influence on us."
No, I think you're absolutely right. And like, I don't care what you feel about Israel, folks. People don't really understand how strategic our partnership with Israel is with the Middle East. And I do think that there's a big push from China pushing this anti-Semitism. They would love nothing more than to replace the United States as Israel's greatest ally. They would love it. I mean, from just a strategic, the location of Israel. And we know for a fact that China is trying to do additional operations in the Middle East and continue to project power and influence in the Middle East. Israel would be perfect. And and they're already trying to do this, by the way. Like, look this up, folks. Look this up. Look up the fact that China is trying to get their little tentacles into Israel, trying to sell them weapons, trying to build business, diplomatic, and economic relationships with them. Like, that is taking place, and they would love if they can convince Israel to cut ties with us by basically saying, because they're playing both sides. Like, you better believe there's people in Israel that are like, all of America hates us. Like, they're anti-Semitic, and there's a lot of other reasons too. And there's a lot of people in Israel that says that the United States, which is probably right, controls Israel, and they want to be an independent nation. So, like, they're getting it from both sides. Like, hey, you know what? China would be much better. Would be much better.
And as somebody who was just in Israel, I will tell you that the common American perception of Israel, where they're a bunch of conservative-minded Trump, like, they're liberal and leftist.
Yeah.
Like, they are very, very liberal over there. Like, So selling them on a non-conservative partner, it would be way easier than anybody thinks.
Yeah.
Like there are those groups that are like, we love Trump, he's amazing, and we love what he's doing. But the vast majority of the population is super liberal, and any pathway they see to just live a better life, they're going to buy into it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you were over there getting your check from BB for the 7,000?
Yeah, I had to pick up the 7,000 directly from the Rothschild. They were like, "Look, we paid you so much. We've actually got to talk to you about what we want in the future." But that's one of the funnest accusations I've ever gotten, the $7,000 thing. And I've told people, I was like, "Guys, look, just so you understand, if it's let's forget 7,000 a post. That's batshit crazy. Let's just say it was 7,000 a day. That's $2.5 million a year."
Yeah.
Like I thought Jews were stingy. But you think they're going to give me, the TikTok guy, $2.5 million a year? Like, and that's why I have. So I made this actually. So
$7,000. There you go.
And then under the brim, of course, the important thing. Then inside it actually says, "I've made the video. Now pay me the money."
Well, I've told everybody I've gotten a raise now. I'm up to $14,000 a post.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I got to talk to your handler. We got to get the same Israeli handler.
Well, BB he actually flies a helicopter over my house once a week and just drops a bundle of cash. The last one I got had several golden menorahs. I mean, it was amazing. I really appreciate it.
I went all the way to Israel. All I got was a necklace. So
well,
these Rothschilds are some bullshit.
Yep. They love us gingers.
But I love it. I argue every night on TikTok. One of my topics is always, I fully support Israel, because it's like, and here's the thing. Anybody who doesn't, like, this is not me trying to sell Israel on people. Do me a favor. Just Google any country that has tried to expel their Jews or forsaken the Jews in their country, and you tell me how that works out for the nation once the people who are pushing the success and pushing the banking and doing everything they can to be successful in your country decide to leave. It doesn't make for a good country.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I want to show everybody this too, and hopefully you folks are out there doing some research on this.
Look, John Kirkow's employer.
Yeah. So, we joke around about the $7,000 a post or whatever else, but Russia is spending billions of dollars, all right, or over $1 billion per year now on influence operations. And let's just go ahead and accept all these cookies so Russia can get in our stuff. But Kremlin shifts focus to information warfare. Russia's draft 2026 budget cuts military spending by $2.4 billion compared to 2025, while boosting funding for state-run media by 54%, signaling a potential pivot toward intensified informational warfare. And folks, you better believe this money, this $2.4 billion, all right, some of that is going to be going toward influence operations here in the United States, and probably.
But also think about how important it is.
Yeah,
they're literally taking $2.4 billion away from their military while they're at war.
Yeah. Great point. Russian President Vladimir Putin shows no sign of giving up on his war against Ukraine despite limited battlefield gains, as Russia begins experiencing a shortage of certain types of military equipment. Its propaganda machine continues unabated and may have even expanded. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, whatever his name is, freaking Mr. Booger, stated that Russia's draft budget for 2026 will reduce military spending by $2.4 billion and increasing state-run media by 54%, an additional $458 million. So this is where they're shifting their focus. And you better believe that what we're seeing in this, and I've talked about it, Joe, I don't know if you've talked about it, but look, I think there is a clear push in the bots, the sock puppets. I see it down in my comments. I know what they're doing. I do think that probably about 30% of the views and subscribers and all these other things that all these people get, I think, are artificial. And I've talked about how that works and the synergistic effect they have by boosting those views, the shares. Then it jumps into the actual algorithm. And the insidious part about all of this is it looks organic. And they don't have to shoot any missiles at us. They don't have to spend what they would spend on one missile, like they can spend on a bot farm and get 10x in return.
Well, you can see it on X. You can see it on X. They've tested it. Is because I did a report on this. If you look at these very obvious Russian bullshit propaganda stuff, if you go in there and you look at who's supporting it, it's amazing. Everything is South Asia. Everything is South Asia. And you could see the tests of it. You could see a post that says, I hate these white men talking about America or putting up flags. And my neighbor put up this American flag. I hate this in my neighborhood. And you look and you go, okay, this account has, 1,000 followers. How many views? 7.5 million. Okay, where's the account located? South Asia. It was like, okay, none of that makes sense. What that is that is a bot test. That is I want a small account to put out some shit that nobody will see, and let's run bots to it and see if it flags anything. See if Nikita catches us. And then when it doesn't, cool. Now we know that bot farm isn't showing up on the radar. Now we can use that to push towards Palestinian propaganda, America, because Russia loves the America only propaganda, the America first, America only propaganda. Russia loves that.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I get a lot of European accounts, man. I definitely get some South Asia accounts as well, but I get a lot of UK, Canada, time and time again. And you go through there, and I'll even do a grok analysis. I'll pull that account name and like, does this look like a sock puppet account? And it'll go through and do an analysis, tell us, all the stuff that does, and I repost that time and time again. But it's the same narratives that they push in there. Time and time, it's like almost like copy and paste. It's the same thing being said, but slightly different. They have like 10 followers. Usually under the ones that I see the most are usually under 200 followers or even under 100 followers. And then you go to the replies. That's what I really like. If you go to the replies, it's like they've done nothing but talk crap to accounts like you and me. And then you actually go there, and all they do, they don't post an original thought ever. It's just like reposting Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, Ian Carroll, Stu Peters, all of the usual suspects. And it's just so artificial and dumb that,
And that's where I look at somebody on X like Nikita. Like, I think Nikita's doing a good job of targeting people who are stealing other people's content. Yeah, I think Nikita's doing a good job of that. But the real problem is it's just massive amounts of fake engagement. Yeah. And while it's obvious to people who are looking, if I wasn't an investigative person, if I wasn't a person who knew social media, I would just be like, wow, this seems really popular. And you have to, I tell people to remember at all times, 90% of the people you interact with are morons.
Yeah.
They're functional morons. They function in their daily life, but they're not exactly the higher thinkers. So the influence happens. It's so easy to influence people. Like we know, like we've met some influencers, and they're functional retards. So it's like I might get. Oh, you're on YouTube. I probably can't say that, but they're functional idiots. But so influence works from even the dumbest people, and all it needs is weight behind it. And bot farms make that so easy.
That's one of the things that I've always tried to do with our channel too, is like, I want this channel to always be a call to action. And what you touched on is really important for people to know, because I want to get more people on our side. I want to build an army of people out there defending the truth and calling out the BS, because there's a lot of people listening right now, folks. And you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel. You've been thinking about doing TikTok, or I don't know, just posting whatever on X. You've been thinking about doing something along those lines, and you need to. And all you got to do is hit record. Yeah, you're going to suck at first. That's what happens. But if you got that calling on you, you need to act on it, because just what Joe talked about, these morons that are Candace followers, that are from the left, they got no shame. They don't care, because you're sitting there like, how are people going to perceive me? And we all go through that. Like, it's going to be better than you think. I promise you. No matter what, like some of my worst videos that I put out on YouTube, I'm like, this is going to suck. And it's like the biggest video. And there's other videos that I work on for weeks. Literally, I got hundreds of hours of going through them, editing and putting music or, multiple views and B-roll. And you get it on there. It's like, it gets a tenth of the views that a video that I thought was trash that took me 10 minutes to put out that, so like none of these people care about how they look. They don't care about how they sound. There's a volume. They're winning by outworking us and not being afraid, and just by the mass amounts of retards out there pushing the same exact talking points. They don't even come up with anything original. They got nothing to add to the conversation. There's like 50 YouTube channels that all they do is repost exactly what Candace Owens posts, and they're like, they got 300,000 followers or more. And
if I can be a lesson to anyone, guys, I started yelling at my phone. I had 1.5 million followers in 6 months.
Wow.
Just from yelling at my phone. And I will tell you, I started more recently doing a little more editing on my videos, adding like background stuff. Immediately my followers were like, stop all that shit. We're not here for graphics. We're not here for good production. We're here for the information that you put out. And I tell any new content creator this. I have so many people who come to me and like, what should I do? How do I start? You start by yelling at your phone. You start by saying what's important to you, because the currency on social media is authenticity. If you're full of shit, your audience will know it. Yep. And if you're saying shit you actually care about, your audience will love it. And I promise you, no matter how weird you are, no matter how creepy your niche is, there's millions of people out there who are just as weird, just as strange, who want to participate. So I promise you, your voice is significantly more powerful than you ever thought capable. And by the way, I will say, social media will conflate so much stuff. You'll look at a video and go, well, this only got 50,000 views. I want you to picture 50,000 people listening to what you have to say. Just picture that in real life, and you'll recognize how powerful that is.
Or even 500 or 1,000. I mean, can you, like there's lots of churches that have been in existence for 20 years that don't have 300 people in them. Mm-hmm. And you're influencing more people every time you upload that video on TikTok or wherever than most churches. Like it's nuts. Like the amount of people that you're going to reach. And then on top of that, I also really believe that you're reaching the right people. Like, I am religious. I believe that God is putting you in front of the exact right people with the exact right message at the right time. There are people out there right now that you're watching this, that you just sitting there hitting record on your phone, reaching people that I couldn't reach, that Joe won't reach, that thank God Candace Owens won't reach. Your voice, however you are articulating whatever you're talking about, you were meant to reach that person that you're going to reach. I don't care if it's 5, I don't care if it's 10. I will tell you, you better get a thick skin, and you better just you got to have a positive mental attitude, and you got to be.
What are you talking about, man? The internet is super nice. Everybody's really accommodating. What are you talking about?
You will not be called a pedophile. They will not come after you or anything else. I promise you that.
But I mean, like you said, man, like everybody who's like, oh, your video had 50 views. When's the last time you said something where 50 people stood and listened to it?
Yeah.
You could, at worst, that'll happen with everything you post. 50 people will stand and listen to it. And I don't know. Look, I'm a little vain. I'm pretty vain. So when I see that 1,000 people, and I have 1 million I have like 4.5 million followers across all of social media. And when I see 1,000 people liked what I had to say, I'm definitely celebrating it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you should. And again, the reason that you're out there saying the things that you are is because you think that Americans need to hear it. And when you get that positive reinforcement of 300, 1,000, whatever it is, however many people are liking your video, sharing your video, or whatever else, it's huge. It's huge. And what you're doing is important. And folks, there's a lot of other people out there that are watching this right now, and you think, I can't do this. And if you started doing this, you'd be 10 times more successful, and you'd reach more people than either one of us combined. So, don't be afraid. Hit record, upload it, and see what happens. And
just not on OnlyFans. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do OnlyFans. Don't do it. Have some dignity, folks.
At worst, Feet Finder.
You resort to Feet Finder.
Look here, look. I'm not. If you do OnlyFans, I'm going to judge you. If you do Feet Finder, I'm not really going to judge you.
Fair enough.
I won't know it's you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's take a few questions and comments. See what we got going on over here. I think YouTube is shadow banning Paramount Tactical's channel because you should get a lot more views than it does. It doesn't make sense. Look, we've always been a gun channel. I've never got up here. I always knew that starting off as a gun channel that we were, and I was a very political during COVID. That's really when I started posting videos. And it's just one of those things. But I do get all these people saying that I've been unsubscribed. I hit alert me on this video when we have an upcoming video and they don't get the alerts. It is what it is, folks. You got to know your operational environment. And that's what, if you want to help me and you want to help Joe and all the other creators that you feel like aren't getting the reach that they are, it's because you're not sharing our content. And man, the Candy Colts, the Ian Carrolls, all those, like, their fans are fanatic. All right. They are 100% right. They share everything these people say. And all we need is one. And like, we have truth, logic, everything on our side. And all we need is
me and you have the same problem. We have intelligent followers.
Intelligent
followers aren't fanatics who click everything and share everything because they have jobs and shit and they live normal lives and they're not crazy. But I mean, I'm down for some crazy. Like,
yeah. Crazy. Wait, the FBI is looking into Lane's claim about an ex-FBI agent releasing private citizen info. Let's effing go. It's a lie. Expose the fraud. If it's true, arrest the losers. I love the elderly millennial.
No, I hear it all the time. They're like, people come in and they're like, you're the elder millennial. And I'm like, look, I wasn't the older millennial, just so you know. I started out as Team FU Joe. I used to own a bunch of gyms after I got out of the Army. I opened gyms and trained a lot of very amazing athletes. And they used to tell me that my higher level athletes used to tell me that my training programs, that I was trying to kill them. So they created Team FU Joe as a hashtag to complain about my training programs. And so I ran with it. I opened an apparel company, a supplement company, an equipment company, and I ran everything under that. So when I got on TikTok, I was Team FU Joe. And then I got banned a bunch because all the liberals thought it was a fuck Joe Biden channel, which it kind of was, but it was still just my name. So I switched after an interview with Fox where they were like, you should probably try changing your name. So I changed it to the Older Millennial.
Well, I got to be older than you because I'm a Gen Xer. So,
I mean, look, we all make mistakes, man.
I don't think you made a mistake, but if you did, I forgive you. Gary's my favorite human ever. Well, thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Hey,
I have been told I'm an honorary Gen Xer.
I need to get my wife down here and read some of these. Hi, Gary. Hi, Chad. Glad I'm finally home and awake to catch the live. Patriots strong. Domsey, I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I think you weren't doing well. So hopefully you're on the mend. If one of our viewers I know wasn't doing well. So if that's you, I'm praying for you. I hope you feel better. If I'm incorrect on that, I'm praying for all of you that aren't doing well. Older Millennial is definitely okay. So here's the most important question you're going to get in the next year. You got French toast. Do you like French toast?
I do like French toast.
Would you like French toast with peanut butter on it?
I have to say, I've never had that.
Me neither.
Okay. So would I like, look, I love peanut butter.
I do too.
I do love French toast, but it would not be my first choice to put on it. But
I agree with you.
Would I like it? I'd probably like it because like there's not much, like you're talking about two things I love together. I'm probably down.
Yeah. So I finally, first of all, Rage Bronson came up in my chat and by the way, if you guys aren't following Rage, make sure you go follow him. He released a great new video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull that up in just a minute. I love the title. It was something like, "Is Gary a Fed?" Something along those lines. Anyways, go follow Rage Bronson. He puts out great content.
So wait, what's the answer? What's the answer here? Is Gary a Fed?
Well, you can watch the video. You watch the video.
This changes the whole interview right now.
I'm a Jewish Fed. I'm a Jewish Fed.
Oh,
I'm a Jewish Fed paid by TPUSA that was hired by Erica Kirk for PR.
Well, since I got this, everybody tells me that I'm bought and they come after me. But I will say, I'm not promoting the company. I think they're wonderful, but I'm not doing an ad for them. But this is actually awesome in Israel. I got this. It's called From Rockets to Roses. It's actually melted down Hamas rockets. They melted down and made jewelry out of. And it's scary because they have a factory. They have so many rockets. They have to have a factory to melt everything down. So this is literally made from former Hamas rockets.
That's awesome. I want one of those just for that. And
so I will have them send you one.
I would love it. I would love it. So yeah, anyways, now until you try this, because it took me like 6 months, every day was on here extorting me.
I'm trying it tomorrow.
I said the same thing. It was more of a logistical problem than I thought it would be, but I finally did it right on air, and it's good. Here's the thing: like, I'm not a big on French toast. I like it sometimes. I love peanut butter, but like you, I never really thought about putting them together. So I made it like I melted down some peanut butter, put it on there. It is really good, but it's not like you're either craving that peanut butter French. It's like you wouldn't crave French toast and put peanut butter on it. Like you.
No, I'm a peanut butter waffle guy. I do love peanut butter on waffles.
Psycho. If you get a telescope out, point it to the ground, you'll be able to see Candace and her sidekick Elizabeth Lane's IQ playing hopscotch, and I'm actually playing it correctly.
I like your chat. I like your chat.
The Jews play hopscotch. We got to do it different. I worked for over 20 years for the federal government. As soon as I retired, I had no more access to any other database. I'm with you.
How dare you?
Yeah. Does Elizabeth Lane realize the orange is the new black? I can't wait to see how this grifter's drama plays out. PS picked up MPA 656 Dasher today. Just awesome sauce. Thanks, PTS. You've been great. Well, we appreciate you, buddy. And if you got that from us, which sounds like you did, we appreciate you even more. The Ford agent flew too close to the sun. Now she's getting scalped.
I like it. I like it.
She's right in the middle of the FO phase of what she's got going on.
Well, admitting felonies on the internet is wild work.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe she thought you'd back down because you were a green hair clip, not a literal special forces combat vet. We know she can't read. So just to fill you in, for a long time, Candace Owens was saying green beret instead of green.
Oh, no, she wasn't.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Oh, my God. Had I said that in 7th, because like before I was in 7th, I was at SocCent. And I mean, I've only ever worked with, I've had the pleasure of, I went to 7th group after I worked for another organization that we don't name the other organization, but I worked for another organization before I went to 7th group. And even then it was mostly, guys of that beret. So I would have never been able to live that down.
No, she's good at words. She's really, really, really good at words. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got a picture for you. This is what she thought I was. Let me show this to you.
Oh no.
There we go. Oh, that doesn't look so tough.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I saw 13 of those dudes coming at me, I'd be worried.
Exactly.
Can I ask, were you a Fox at any point?
Nope.
No.
Nope. 18 Bravo,
okay.
brother. 18.
Okay.
Isn't
Guns
Elizabeth
and Glory?
Isn't Elizabeth the one who claims she's a therapist who said Erica's a sociopath or psychopath, malignant narcissist or something along those lines? Yes, she is. As a matter of fact, Jen, if you get a chance, pull up that. I don't see Jen in there. She hasn't been feeling good.
What, did she claim to be a therapist?
No. So she went through. You probably saw it. I'm sure you saw it. The long tweet where that Candace ended up reposting, and she basically psychoanalyzed Erica Kirk and came to the conclusion she was a psycho.
That holds a lot of weight.
Jeanette, good to see you. We got Jeanette Garibian. She's been on the show a couple times. Candy asking people for money. She believes she's selling a product because people choose to pay for, which she calls the truth. She thinks it's the name as Elon asking for money for Teslas. She thinks it's the same as Elon asking money for Teslas. So you're right. She's selling a product. And, I've said this, like she has created a new genre of entertainment. It's like this murder mystery, choose your own adventure, but you get to participate in this. And we had Kelly Smith on here talking about that exact same thing. She's into she specializes in cults and cult mentality and getting people out of cults. She talks about that, like, what Candace does, she uses this inclusive language and she builds this cult around her, which acts as support, defense. It's
the same way we built intel communities overseas. Is like you build people who think they're part of something and they think it's more important than the real life they're dealing with, and you create a society of people who, I don't want to say it's worship, but it's close. It's really close to the same serotonin you get from worship, and that's how it works.
I think it's exactly the same thing. I think it's when you are arguing with someone and they will believe something in spite of evidence, you are now dealing with something religious and completely faith-based. And now we have someone that is clearly a messianic or prophetic figure. That's what Candace Owens is built around her. SK,
I will say, I know SK's I love her as well. So
yep, she was just on the show the other day. It pissed me off when I saw she said Gary hid in the bushes while other men did the fighting while he was in the military. That's when I started digging. I didn't even hear her say that. Did you know she said that?
What were you doing in the bushes, man?
Yeah, like in Iraq and Afghanistan, there's not a lot of bushes.
I'm going to tell you right now that if your Bravo is in a bush, your whole team is fucked.
And there's, number one, I got awards with narratives on those awards that say otherwise. And plenty of eyewitnesses as well.
There you go.
Buckley has to be CIA along with Tucker.
No, Buckley's not popular enough.
Look, I don't think that I don't think they're CIA. I'll just tell you that right now. I don't think
I think they would be too obvious for the CIA.
Yep. We need only spy shirts with a bald silhouette. Everyone's convinced that Elizabeth wears a wig. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. Everything else about her is fake. Never heard of that Eliza Ho, but before, until your episode about the candy and Eliza Ho. Thank you, Gary, Jen, Older Millennial. Blessings to all.
I love Eliza Ho.
Well, of course, it had to sound like an Indian name from Cherokee Chick 64.
Walks with hoes.
I'm so glad I found Gary when he started going after Candace. All this chaos pushback just confirms Gary is doing an excellent job. Yeah, look, when
I think your ability to inspire her to lose her fucking mind so fast was like because you cut through it with facts. That's why I loved the way you went at it, because you didn't assume shit. Like, I saw no opinion in what you were talking about. You were just like, hey, look, I investigated it and this is what I saw. Yeah. Yep. I love that.
Well, anytime you hit people with truth, clearly you're a Fed. You're a Fed. I missed that one. Yep. Lizzie, she said, did what had to be done. Then I heard what she said and I was like, wait, what? Exactly. I had to do what had to be done. I had to reach out to somebody that has illegal access to do illegal things. And, I didn't know Buckley existed either until 2 months ago. Yeah. Like nobody knows who Buckley is.
I was in Israel and I saw him comment on my shit and I was like, I don't know who this guy is. And then I learned he existed and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So Tucker has a brother and I had no idea.
Well, the sad thing is his effeminate brother named Buckley, his son is named Buckley as well. Tucker's son is named Buckley.
Oh, Lord.
I would have never named my son after that dude. He's like him and John Mappin almost seem like the same person, to be honest with you. Liz, you're coming in broken and stupid. Go home.
Damn.
Roger that. You were coming in broken and retarded.
Over.
Oops. Jenny didn't know she was the one who wrote the Erica is a psychopath post Candy always read from. I think she did know. Jen knew that. I think she knew that. I'm sure she did. She jumped back in here. She'll be able to answer. She's an intellectual and a patriot. Patriot.
You got to spell that pay, P-A-Y.
Yeah.
Patriot.
Patriot. I'd much rather listen to Kamala on her drunk rant. I agree. Dude, they dragged Erica from wearing a turtleneck and a hat, so it had nothing to do with glitter pants. They just want to drag it. Exactly. No matter what she does. If she doesn't cry enough, she's guilty. If she cries too much, she's guilty. No matter what she says or does, she's guilty. If she doesn't respond, she's guilty. When she does respond, that's proof of guilt.
Well, I think Gad Sads made an amazing. I love Gad, by the way, but I think he made an amazing officer. What's that?
I got him coming on July 3rd.
Oh my God! If I could just fucking say hi to the guy, I love the guy so much.
I love
the guy. The guy I went to, like the group that paid for us to go to Israel. They were like, "Oh, we're talking to Gad Sad," and I was like, "I will pay to just hang out with that dude for a day because I love him so much. I think he's so brilliant." But he talked about a logical explanation of if you do not have a standard for which something could be proven wrong, it can never be proven right. Yeah. And that's the thing with what Candace says is that there's no standard that anyone would accept or anyone of her following would accept her being wrong. Therefore, she can't possibly be right. And that's why I just like I swear to like Gad Sad, if you're watching this or you ever see it, wherever you are, I will travel in the world to have a fucking glass of bourbon with you and talk shit.
Well, write July 3rd down on it. I'll let you jump in here for a little bit for sure.
100%. I love that man so much.
No, I've always loved that is very profound. Like if you can't prove someone wrong, then they can't be proven right. And you know what her business model has become engagement farming through extortion. She accuses somebody of something that's horrendous and gets them like, it's like, when these people are, when you're being accused of like, whether it's Cabot Phillips, who did, for instance, Cabot Phillips, this is a great example. And I talked about this in a video recently. Cabot Phillips was accused of being at Fort Huachuca. Folks, he jumped through hoops. First, he like sent some receipts from the local store where he was at the time. That wasn't good enough. I believe he actually got like footage from the store where he was during that time. Ultimately, he gave them, and that wasn't good enough. But now they're hounding, like, nope, this could be faked. That's not good enough. Then he gave them surveillance footage from his house, and they're like, oh, we need the metadata. Like, it was never enough. And and she never came back and said, hey, you know what? I apologize for that. I was wrong. I shouldn't have accused you of those things. She just kind of let it die. And there were still people going after her, Diligent Denizen and some of these other clowns on social media. They're still saying that what he did wasn't good enough. But that's what she does. It's like she's going to accuse you of something. If you try to prove her wrong, if you try to prove your innocence, they're going to say that's not good enough. If you don't try to prove your innocence.
No, not only that, it's worse than that. So like, say they made the accusation that you hid in a bush, right?
Yeah.
Right. So here's what happens. If you don't respond to it, because you're like, that's crazy. You're like, oh, he didn't respond because it's an admission of guilt. Now, if you do respond and you're like, I got witness testimonies that I never hid in a bush.
Yeah.
What she's going to say is the only reason you so viciously defended it and you had people that were witnesses is because you have something to hide.
And she said that. She's like, why would these people even give us an alibi? While she's still demanding an alibi. She's like, if they were innocent, they wouldn't have even tried to give us an alibi. Like
that's the way it works.
That exact same thing. So it is content farming through extortion. And like how X, YouTube, or any of these other platforms are allowing this, accusing people of horrific crimes. And, it's not even just enough, going back to what you were talking about, Erica Kirk, and how vicious all this is. She's no longer just being accused of murdering her husband. She's also being accused of child sex trafficking.
Yep.
Like it's.
And the sad thing is, if you look at her history, what she did was rescue children from horrible operations where they were being trafficked. She rescued these children from these operations overseas. And so you're taking someone who very obviously did everything they could to do good. And you're turning it into a bad thing. Like You're now scaring future people that may want to do amazing things for people because they're afraid of the wrath.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, who in their right mind with all this stuff going on? Like, and to be honest with you, I think she was associated through her charity with some other organizations that did that. I think mostly what she did was really like a Toys for Tot, Toys for Tots type thing for people over there in Ukraine and kids, or not Ukraine, Romania, in Romania. But yeah, like, who in their right mind? Most of us would want to create a nonprofit that would help kids, but like, who would do that? Because somebody like Candace Owens now is going to take that, twist it around, and try to turn you into some sort of pedophile. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts, and like the lack of outrage by every American out there is outrageous in of itself.
And I do have to say, along the lines of what we were talking about, so I owned a bunch of gyms, but they were CrossFit gyms. And the founder of CrossFit termed a term that I love called invincible ignorance. It is people who, like a good example, if you say something I disagree with, right? Yeah. I should be able to give you and say, hey, this is the body of evidence you need to provide to me for me to agree with your thought, right? Like, here's what you need to show me for me to agree. Now, the problem is if I can't say here's the body of evidence I need to agree, then you don't have to have a discussion with me, because at that point I am invincibly ignorant. I am fully wed to living in the fucking dark at that point. So because I've given you no avenue to prove your point. And that's what Candace does. She creates a statement and provides. There is nothing you could provide her to show her the difference, because if you don't address it, it's because you're hiding something. If you do address it, it's because you have something to hide. And it's like she's invincibly ignorant to the facts.
Well, and this goes with like a lot of the conspiratards out there that just, no matter what, will not believe that Tyler Robinson was the one that shot Charlie Kirk. I don't care how much video you show them. I don't care how much of the information has come out. Like, this is one of the most evidence with what the public, like, there's never been anything close to this, where the public, we have this national event, and now we have the amount of evidence that we have. Folks, if you've gone through the charging documents, you've gone through the recently released search warrants, like, they have every step of what he's done pretty much accounted for at this point. As a matter of fact, you should go over to Gray Hughes Investigates and watch his recent release. Like, what he does is using the clock, using surveillance footage, filling in some gaps because they know where he traveled during these times. But he has filled that. Like, there is no room for anything else. And that's based on evidence and the surveillance footage that they have, both in the neighborhoods as well as what else is going on there. So, like, if you want to know what actually happened, and he talks about all the events through that by the minute and explains what's going on. Like, the only thing that's left open that I am completely open to, was there somebody that influenced him, that radicalized him online? Like, I'm completely open to that. Now
here's going to be the argument for Candace. Here's how she would argue against that. She's going to go, well, the fact that it's so perfectly laid out and everything is easily explainable tells you it's very obviously a constructed theory, because it would never work like that, where everything is so obvious and there's evidence for each thing. That would only happen if it was a constructed narrative.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the way it works, man. We are not living in the same reality as these people.
No. Well, and you can look at the body of evidence when you look at that, and they don't accept any of it, except there's one piece of the Fed slop that they took and ran with, that they believed wholeheartedly. When we had the ballistic report that said that because the round was so fragmented that it was inconclusive, they were not able to match it to the rifle, which doesn't.
They ignored the inconclusive word.
No, they heard it excludes the possibility that this round, and it's like, oh, so that's the one. Never mind the fact that in the same ballistic report, they also said what we do know is that it is a 30 caliber round. That's what they said. This is 30 caliber, like said 30 caliber family round or something along those lines. But they completely ignore that part. But now they've DJ'd in there, hey, this excludes this possibility. So out of all the stuff that we have to talk about that was faked, like FBI's in on it, the ATF's in on it, The one thing that they couldn't have filled out a ballistic report that said, "Yep, round matches perfectly." I mean, who would know? Who would know different?
Yeah, but let's just say, like, I want you give me the Candace Owens response. The FBI comes out and says, "Hey, the bullet matches perfectly, and it's got Tyler's print on it."
Oh, she's gonna say, "Oh, you think I'm gonna believe that Fed slop?" Tyler Robinson was never on the campus.
Like when's the last time a round was recovered and had a print on it? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but that's the reality of it. Like, and I got into an argument with somebody. They were like, "Oh, really? I know tons of firearm experts," and I was like, "No, you didn't. You watched YouTube firearm experts."
Yeah.
But they were like, "When is the last time a 30-06 round fragmented and didn't leave?" And I was like, "Martin Luther King Jr." And they were like, "No, that's not true." I was like, I literally was like, "Hey, go ahead. I'm going to pause the live. Go ahead and look it up." And they went and looked it up. And immediately came back and went.
Well, hold on just 1 second. So I just want to frame this correctly because you and I get this a lot. And I'm sure it's like there is no way that the human body would stop a 30-06. Those are elephant guns, which they're not. You're freaking retarded. But it's elephant guns. It would blow right through the human body. There's no way that it wouldn't next to the body. And then you bring up Martin Luther King because I just had Nate Vance on the other night.
We went good guest.
2.5 hours. We had like 2.5 hours of just talking ballistics and going through like different case studies, going through different bullet constructions and how this works and all the things. If you want to know about ballistics and everything that applies to this, go watch that, folks. But the argument is it would blow right through the human body, no problem. And then when you pull up Martin Luther King, it's like, look, this is very similar. It hit his jaw, and then it went into his neck. It hit his spine, deflected downward, did next to the body. Like, yeah, but it hit his jaw. It hit his jaw. Well, it was.
And they had an open casket.
They had an open casket. Yeah, but no. Because it hit his jaw, the whole will blow his head clean off. Because there's a variable in there that's slightly different. Never mind the fact that he was shot at 65 yards, not 142 yards. So it almost exactly twice the distance or half the distance that Charlie Kirk was shot. But don't worry about that. We got to throw that out. It's completely different. That's
why I said we are not living in the same reality these people are, because it is not an evidence-based reality. It's not a, hey, look, I can show you where this happened before. And they're like, well, that's different. It's like, you're right. It is different. He was way fucking closer.
Yeah. Nope, you're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I got a post I want to share with everybody because this is the other thing I constantly hear.
By the way, if you think a 30-06 is an elephant gun, you don't know firearms. And look, I'm not saying I have the firearm depth of what is sitting behind this man right now, because I'm so unbelievably jealous at the moment. But I will say that I know enough about firearms. I've shot enough guns that I know that a 30-06 can stay.
Yeah. And, well, I'm not even going to get into that. I'll just leave that alone. But let me find this post because this is the other thing. This is where my day started.
I literally had somebody get mad at me one time because I said 30-06. And they said, no, it's a 30.06. And I was like, yeah.
30.06.
I was like, what are we talking about here, man?
Let me share this. All right. So this was a post. Again, a lot of people are like, well, just prove it wasn't a 30-06. And this is what I hear all the time. Shoot some meat to prove it was a 30-06. Folks, if that's your standard, you don't understand ballistics or basic science. Store-bought meat or even calibrated gel can't replicate a specific human neck hit, bone fragmentation, downward angle, exact velocity at 140 yards, bullet construction, or tissue variability. Guessing the ammo plus a different rifle ignores trajectory, yaw, projectile type, variability, energy dump, and dozens of other variables. It's like reconstructing a car crash without knowing the cars, the speeds, or the road conditions. What we do know, Martin Luther King stopped a 30-06. Martin Luther King's body stopped a 30-06 at half the distance Charlie was shot. Chuck Ritter, do you know who Chuck Ritter is?
I didn't know this comparison.
Yeah, so Chuck Ritter is a Green Beret. I think he was third group. Don't quote me on that. Still alive.
That's
Chuck
all right. Look, if he was, just so you know, Chuck Ritter, if you were third group, we all make mistakes. It's fine, brother.
He was shot with a 7.62 by 54, which is literally the Russian equivalent of a 30-06. Ballistics, energy, all that stuff is extremely similar. He was shot from 25 yards away. It hit him in his back, missed his ribs, hit him directly in the spine. The round deflected downward, no exit wound. And guess what? Chuck Ritter's still alive. As a matter of fact, it was caught on video and he kept fighting. That's what a badass that dude was. So
I'm sorry for talking shit about third group. My bad.
Yeah. Like one of his teammates, they were in Afghanistan. One of his teammates had a helmet cam on. They documented the whole thing. He kept fighting. And so he comes on, like, now he's out of the military. He comes on X and he jumps into this conversation. Like, I didn't know who he was, never heard of him before. But all of a sudden I see this Green Beret saying, yeah, it's absolutely possible because I was shot with the equivalent of 30-06 from 25 yards away. People were like, you're lying. He's like, let me post the video. They're like, yeah, but it didn't actually hit you in the spine. He's like, okay, well, here's pictures of me in surgery. And then he ended up posting his medical records and the actual documents of those particular injuries. Like, laid it all out. I'm like, yeah, but it's somehow different. It doesn't count because we can't accept reality. I mean, like, you have to have such cognitive dissonance to like go that far and believe that. And like, if people don't understand, if you're trying to replicate what we saw with Charlie Kirk, and again, we still don't know what kind of round it was. The only thing that we know, it was a 30-06 and that was Remington. It's probably core lock. And again, we showed
I think they said there's 12 variants of round that could have been used.
Projectiles. Yeah. So
yeah,
in types of ammunition, at least that, depending on, and somebody also said it was actually in one of the reports. I don't remember which legal document, but it was ammunition they estimated to be 8 years old. I'm sure it had a lot manufacturer date on there. So who knows what went on with that. But one of the things that we showed the other night during our video, our live stream with Nate Vance, is Mythbusters. They were trying to, it was either the Martin Luther King, it was the Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the same controversy was going on, not so much when it happened, because I went back and studied that whole thing, but a lot of people in modern times were basically saying it wasn't 30-06. During that, I went through all the documents, all the investigation. I went and looked at, newspaper articles, everything that I could find surrounding it. There was nobody claiming it wasn't a 30-06. It wasn't until more recent years, like in the early 2000s, things like that people were saying it wasn't a 30-06. Mythbusters did a test shooting a 30-06 in ballistic gel and a 9mm pistol round, 9mm Ruger. Guess what? Which one of those rounds went deeper into the gel? 9mm. And like, how does that happen? And there was a ballistic expert to explain right there. And he said, when you have a round that's traveling twice the speed, once it does hit something, it's more likely to break up. And it was contained within one ballistic gel block. So, like, I can't say, Nate can't say, Joe can't say 100% sure Charlie Kirk was shot with a 30-06. I can't say that. I don't have enough information to confirm that. But what I can absolutely tell you is that it is not anything close to impossible. It is more likely it's more probable that you can hit a human being, especially in the spine. And I think there's something going on there. The three examples that we have, Charlie Kirk, Martin Luther King, and Chuck Ritter, they all were hit with this in the spine. The spine is able to displace a lot of energy just the way it's constructed. All the attachment points, billions of attachment points to tendons, nerves, ligaments, muscle. It's going to absorb and transfer a lot of energy throughout the body. And that's how Kevlar works. That's why Kevlar is ballistic resistant, is because it's going to stretch and absorb that energy. But if you think that anyone can take what we know, if we had exactly Tyler Robinson's gun, we had the exact ammo that he was using, and we were able to create a perfect model of Charlie Kirk, something exactly, and then replicate the distance, replicate the angle, to even get to know what's possible we need a large sample size to begin with. This is basic, like anyone that's taken, high school science class should know this stuff. Like we would need a large sample size, and then we would see what the probabilities of these things are. When somebody goes out in the backyard and shoots one piece of meat with one round, and they're like, oh, there we go, guys. That's science. That's science. Look at that. That just blew right through that ham hock. Are you?
No, but that's what you have on YouTube. You have this steak is the same density as skin.
No, like you haven't replicated. You don't know the ammunition. You didn't use the same gun, which is determinative of how that round will potentially exit that barrel. We have internal, external, and terminal ballistics. And like you don't even have the variables. So just like I said, it's exactly like recreating a car crash without knowing the cars involved, without knowing the speed that it was going, and without knowing the road conditions. And you're going to sit there like a freaking backyard moron and say, oh, look, because this happened to this piece of meat, not using any of the same variables that were involved in this and what happened with Charlie Kirk. I didn't replicate anything. Like, proof it's a conspiracy, proof that Tyler Robinson, and then you idiots go out there and you parrot that same stuff. I saw this guy, he shot a brisket in the backyard from 8 feet away or whatever it is with his Powpaw's 30-06. Like, I don't know what to say.
But it's also the reality that like I've said before, we're not living in the same reality, because it doesn't matter. The worst part is, even if you were to do everything you said, right? Say you could get all the variables.
Yep.
And you were to give a demonstration of how it doesn't leave the body. There would be people would question on something.
Yeah. And they if you did that test 100 times and you were able to replicate all of the conditions and everything exactly, and you were able to replicate exactly what happened 90 times out of 100, 50 times out of 100, 30 times out, I don't know what the percentage is that would take place.
It would have to be 100% of the time for them even to remotely believe it.
And then even if you did it was like, wow, 100% of the time we made sure to hit the exact same anatomy. We were able to replicate somehow Charlie's body density, the way that he was leaning forward. We were able to replicate all of that. And 100 times out of 100, it did exactly what we saw in this instance. They would say, oh, it's fake. It's fake. And yeah, like,
well, they would say the fact that it did it 100% of the time, nothing is ever 100% of the time. So obviously you faked it.
But if you did it 99 times out of 100 or 90 times out of 100, they would still find some wiggle room in there. But one of the things I just did a quick grok analysis, and I think this is important to understand. I said, explain the complexity to scientifically recreate the shot that killed Charlie Kirk, with the goal of attempting to determine if a 30-06 allegedly used by Tyler Robinson was likely or unlikely the weapon and or caliber that is what was used. Would using meat bought at the store, guessing the type of ammunition used, and used in a different rifle, and testing extremely small sample size be determinative in any way? And the response is, recreating the shot scientifically to assess weapon caliber likelihood is extremely complex, multidisciplinary, rarely definitive with casual methods. Forensic ballistics, wound ballistics, and crime scene reconstruction involve physics, material science, anatomy, and statistics. No simple test, especially with store-bought meat, guessed ammunition, a different rifle, and tiny samples, comes close to being determinative. To evaluate, and again, like, it goes through where you'd even sort of get close to what was going on. And
but Grok's controlled by the Jews, dude.
Forgot. I did forget that. Forgot about that. Forgot about the Jew control of Grok.
Look, I mean, the Jews control everything, man.
Yeah. I mean, 0.2% of the population, like I want to convert at this point, because they are like Super Saiyans. They are.
I'm going to be real with you. I've given deep consideration to being Jews so I can control the world.
I mean, how 0.2 of the population control 99.88% of the population is pretty wild.
And not just 0.2% of the population. Like, here's the reality, guys. If you believe Jews control the world, what you believe is that a population that only 80 years ago was nearly massacred from existence, somehow was given a nation, and in that amount of time, they've managed to take control of the world. Fuck it, they're our masters at that point. Like, you win, guys. I'm sorry.
No, here's the argument that I like. Did you know, Joe, that if there weren't Jews, we would not have pornography?
Of course not.
Did you know that if there weren't Jews, we wouldn't have had slavery at all, ever?
No, of course not. Well, the only reason we have pornography is because one single rabbi works at the company that owns Pornhub and does evaluations for them on viability of human existence. That's all he's there for. He's literally there to be like, hey, this is too far. That's his whole job at the company.
How much did they pay you? My God, you apologize.
It was so much, brother. It was so much.
There would be nothing wrong in the world. There wouldn't be gambling. There wouldn't be corruption. It would be just a utopia, because none of that has ever existed in any other society, and definitely wouldn't exist in the American society if the Jews weren't.
Bad shit only exists because of Jews.
100%.
The worst part is I have people. I saw Dan Bilzerian post, and he said Israel needs more diversity. I posted a video from Jaffa Beach where I was like, bro, this shit could not be more diverse. The one thing this place is lacking is white people. The problem is people see the white Jew in New York and they're like, that's Israel. It's like, that's definitely not Israel. Like, let me just tell you right now, like Israel doesn't have a lot of white people.
Oh, she needs to be deported. She might sneak back into only mail order brides, though.
No, she's not hot enough for that.
No. Anyone supporting BRICS is supporting the economic collapse of America. If you call yourself America First and speak at a BRICS conference, agreed. Get the fuck out of here.
Facts.
Also, Erica bringing her kids to work equals bad, but Candace bringing her kids to a literal war zone equals good. Great point. Great point. That's a great comparison contrast. This is what the Drake meme was made for. Agreed.
Yep, 100%.
Gary, will Candace blame the U.S. military for the drone attacks in St. Petersburg and portray herself as a victim? Anytime that she can somehow, there is no situation where she can't portray herself as both the victim and the heroine simultaneously, and it is a marvel to behold.
It really.
And by the way, that's the same thing. That's the same thing that Elizabeth OnlyFans has done. Like, she comes. I won't say never heard about it, but definitely never posted about this chick at all. And she comes to my page talking crap about me. And then she says, this all started because Gary attacked me, while she's calling me like every name in the book. I didn't curse at her once, didn't call her anything derogative outside of an agent for Russia, allegedly.
I think we're past the alleged at this point.
Whatever. No matter what, I'm going to stick with this. In my opinion, she is a propagandist. If she's not paid, she's not controlled, whatever else, she is a pro-Putin. She's a pro-Russian. She is an anti-American propagandist. Period. And there's a lot of those. You know, there's natural-born Americans that do the same thing on MSNBC or MS Now, or like half the Democratic Party would happily. They love Russia. They love China. I mean, I don't know the difference between the DNC and the CCP anymore. They're the same people.
Nope. And I'm somebody who literally traveled to China repeatedly in my old life I used to evaluate foreign businesses for investment. So like, I've been to China quite a bit, and I will tell you that like it's not what you're being told on paper. They are way more integrated into the way information works than you would ever think they would be.
Yeah. No, I think that we underestimate China. Look, somebody said this yesterday. And I think it's an information op. I think this is a talking point that's intentionally inserted into, because I don't believe it actually. And that is, China tries to portray themselves as more technologically advanced than they are. I don't think that they're not as advanced as us. All right, they're probably 5-10 years behind us, but they are advanced. The rate of technological advancement in China is much faster than us. And so wherever they are, maybe they're 5 years behind us, but it doesn't mean it's going to take 5 years for them to catch up.
No.
They could do things through labor, through like they don't have the all the restrictions that we have here in the United States. So and by the way, they just steal our IP.
Yeah, like, intellectual property rights do not exist in China.
Yeah. So they can literally, somebody can file for a patent. China sees it, steals it, and before that person or a company here in the United States can get to where they're producing that, even the first one, all right, just a test model or whatever it is, like they're already mass producing those things. Like done.
They had a factory pre-built to do it.
I think they're putting a lot of information out there so that we underestimate China. Don't get me wrong; they have problems. They're almost on, population collapse. They have some issues. I'm not going to say that they don't, but they're a real threat, and they're playing the long game. Anna, we always love Anna. I don't have anything enlightening to say. Just starting the beer and French toast with peanut butter fund. There you go.
I'm down.
She's driven by insecurity, external validation. Read her old articles, especially the ones about making herself angry, imagining her with a ex-blonde woman. Yeah. With it. Yeah.
You guys, if you guys have not read that article, please, for the love of God, read that article. It is a perfect explanation of her beef with Erica Kirk. Thank you, MTX, for bringing that up. Please, for the love of God, read that article.
We need to find that. We need to find that before we close this thing down. Can we touch base? All right, Sean again and reassess. Where do you guys think he's at now? Is he just going? I guess we're talking about Sean Ryan. With the flow, feel mad about Epstein stuff, or has someone gotten to him? Go Detroit Lions. Love you, Lynn. Go Detroit. I would like to.
I'm most offended by the Detroit thing, but
what's that?
I'm most offended by the Detroit Lions thing.
I was born in Detroit, got family there. I grew up in Texas.
I was born and raised in Philly. So,
well, there you go. Yeah. And by the way, next time you're down, if you're ever down in the DC area, I'm in West Virginia, about an hour and a half from DC. So
I'm going to be up there for the 4th of July. And then I'm going to a Christians United for Israel event. So I'll be in DC from the 3rd through the 8th.
Well, there you go, dude. Just, you can stop in here and come and sit right next to me, and we'll talk to Gad Sad in person.
Oh my God, you're talking dirty to me, bro.
Yep. I talked about Sean Ryan and what I think with him, what's going on with him last night. I'd like to hear your take on it, especially being a fellow veteran as well. And what do you think is going on with Sean?
So Sean, to me, has always, and look, this is my opinion. I have no evidence of this. Sean, to me, has always felt like a plant, simply because he blew up very quickly. Now, he could have blown up very quickly because his interview style is very attractive. He has a great show to watch. The way he does it in a very casual atmosphere is great to watch. But I look at him, and coming from my intelligence background, I look at him as somebody who would be a perfect talk to people. And I have to say, he did have one guy on who was very comfortable. I'm not going to publicize this because this unit shouldn't be talked about, but he had a guy on who talked about being part of a unit that we'll just say I'm very familiar with. And he so casually talked about it that it betrayed everything we know as part of that unit to do. And I was like, you would only do that if you knew you weren't going to get in trouble for it. And that's where that episode kind of threw me with Sean, because talking about that unit is it like most of America, 99% of America, most of the world doesn't know this unit exists. And he so casually talked about it. And I was like, the only reason you would do that is if somebody assured you beforehand, hey, this guy you're talking to isn't going to get you in trouble for that. And that really bothered me.
Yeah, so I agree with you, and this is something that I pointed out, and this is back when I liked him. All right, I've broken up with Sean Ryan completely. We're no longer besties. I agree with you. Within 100 episodes of his podcast, he was getting millions of views, and it was extremely well and expensively produced, which doesn't seem organic. So take that for what it's worth. As far as my assessment on this, Len, and I spent some time out, I guess it's still relevant. Look, I think Sean is clearly somebody easily influenced. And I feel like, and look, anytime that you have the amount of influence, the amount of viewers that you do, I don't care if we're talking about foreign adversaries, I don't care if we're talking about political adversaries, people will try to insert influence into your life, whether that's personal or professional. I don't know. Like maybe suddenly he has this friend that's kind of guiding him along, because he was saying a lot of things that he was talking crap about people that were anti-Semitic. And now he's like one of the most anti-Semitic people out there. I think that somebody was inserted into his life and is influencing him. It's as simple as that. Like that's what I think. And I think
now, do you think somebody was put in his life that influenced him, or do you think there's money that was put in his life to influence him?
No, I think money has less influence than a lot of people give it credit for, or they give money too much credit. I think somebody with Sean, like he was already extremely popular. I mean, if anything, it was like you start going off in this other direction, you're going to potentially lose viewers. So I don't think, and maybe it's like a big sponsor, like you can go down that rabbit hole. I think the most likely scenario is that suddenly somebody, either personally or professionally, gained his trust and started filling him in. A great example of this is Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn,
I think, perfect example.
Theo Vaughn, another person that's easily influenced, never cared about the Jews or anything else, and starts hanging around with Candace Owens, and suddenly he's on Joe Rogan all bummed out, talking about how the Jews and Israel is the worst thing that's ever happened in the United States. Like, no, somebody's in your head brainwashing you, dude, influencing you, seeding little things every single time. With enough time, like, Joe could do this to me, I could do this to him. I could take everything that I could find about Joe, and especially if he doesn't have a chance to defend himself. And this is the same thing that was happening with Erica Kirk. I can create an air of suspicion. I can take Joe's life, go through his Facebook. I can find all the information I have about him, and I can talk to his army buddy. It doesn't matter what his army buddies say. I just tell you what I want you to hear. Like, oh, I talked to a bunch of his army buddies. They said he was a shitbag. Like, look at this picture. Look at this picture. Like, it's narrative framing. That's what it is. And that's what's happening. And for some reason, all of a sudden, America is stupid and too gullible to realize that this is happening. Not everybody, obviously, but there's a percentage. And this is one of the things I wanted to talk about you. Do you have any like hard times you got to get out of here?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I just want to be respectful of your time. So, one of the things I want to talk about is social media perception versus reality. And coming up to these primaries that we just had, when we had Massey, Thune, some of these kind of, to me, they were kind of bellwether, I don't know, canary in the coal mine kind of. I wasn't sure. I know that there's a delta in between our perceptions of social media, especially X. Like, if you go on X, you're convinced that everybody in the conservative party, if you're on the right, what you have to be, number one, you have to hate Israel.
Of course.
You got to talk about Epstein files and nonstop. You have to hate Trump. And then you also have to push the idea that there is no difference between the right and the left. Oh, you're still stuck in that old paradigm? Oh, what an idiot. Like, no, there's actually a big difference, you moron. And if you're buying into that, you're an idiot too. I just want you to know that. There's a huge difference between what Trump is in this country, what MAGA stands for, and then open borders, rampant crime, all the things that we dealt with. There's a huge difference. So anyone saying that there's no difference is either an idiot or they're intentionally trying to convince you that there's no difference and it doesn't matter if you vote or not. That's a demoralization talking point. That's what that is, to keep you home. So, that's the way you perceive. Is like, my God, I'm a minority. I still believe that Trump's a great president. I don't hate the Jews. I'm clearly a minority. But then
you're obviously alone in this thought.
Yeah. And I got people down in my comments reminding me all the time, like, oh my God, you freaking are paid by Israel. You love Jews. your Israel first, all those things. So you get this perception, and I know that's not quite right, but I didn't know what that delta actually was. It's like, are we going to lose the midterms? Are we going to even lose the primaries with the people that Trump endorsed? And to me, it was extremely eye-opening to see, like, we're doing 10 times better than even I thought we were. Like
119-0.
Yep.
Like that was Trump. Just so everybody knows, that was Trump in the primaries. He backed 119 candidates, 119 won.
Suck it, doomers. Suck it. Yeah, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. How do you think we're going to do in midterms? We're gonna keep the seats that we have. We're going to lose some.
So I would have told you 3 months ago we were going to get crushed in the midterms. In fact, I've said 3 months ago we were going to get crushed in the midterms. But I made the mistake of buying into the online fakeness, right? And I think the Thomas Massey campaign opened a lot of people's eyes because people were like, Thomas Massey's so popular online, right? He's crushing it. Everybody loves him. He's against Trump. He's the Epstein file. He's the guy. And then people forgot that the only people who can vote for Thomas Massey are the people of Kentucky's 14th district. And you know how many times I looked this up? Do you know how many times Thomas Massey mentioned his actual district and what he was going to do for them over the last year?
I have no idea.
One time he mentioned the people who could actually vote for him. And then he lost the election.
How many times did he mention Israel or the Epstein files?
Israel is now, since he lost, Israel is his number one mentioned country in his tweets.
So Thomas Massey, I think, is one of the very few that saw the unredacted Epstein files, and he has all this information, and he runs and he talks about the Epstein files. He uses a political bludgeon against Trump, and it's so important, and he's convinced all you people that there's nothing more important than the Epstein files. And yet he's had the information, he's had the names, and he keeps dangling out there like a carrot. It's so important that he's just going to hold on to them.
That was one of the things post losing the election.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to go to the House floor and announce the names. And everybody was like, yeah. And I was like, I tweeted, I don't know how many times, guys, I want to remind you, he said this 16 months ago. He said the exact same thing 16 months ago. He said, I'm going to go to the House floor, use the speech and debate clause so you can't prosecute me, and I'm going to read all the names. And when he said that 16 months ago, I was like, awesome. I want you to do that. And then he lost the election and said he was going to do it. And everybody cheers it. I'm like, bro, fucking do it.
Right.
Like do it. Like I'm all for it. Like anybody who is about truth and justice would love to see him announce all those names.
Yeah.
Like we want those names. Nobody is sitting around. No Trump fan is sitting around going, don't announce the names.
Oh, no.
But the problem is that he's using it for political gain.
Yeah. It's better as a weapon than actually getting that out there with any information, because I don't know about you, but I actually, like, once they dropped the Epstein files and then they dropped another version of it unredacted, I was going through those hours and hours a day, and there is nothing actionable in there, unfortunately.
None.
And I think that's and you have these people going through those with LLMs. You have these people that have talked about that. They're going to expose everybody in that. They've gone through it, and we see nothing that you could present to anybody and produce probable cause. Now, what you do see, what I did find, are full albums of Bill Clinton traveling with Epstein with a lot of young girls around. I can't tell if they're 19 or 16. I never saw any of the pictures where there was super young children in there.
But they were young looking.
They're like they could have been 21 or they could have been 16, as far as it's hard to tell. But I mean, multiple countries, multiple albums with like Bill Clinton. We have direct emails with a lot of cryptic language going directly to Democrats. We don't see any of that with any Republicans that I found.
Nope.
So, and none of that you could take to a judge and be like, hey, I need a probable cause warrant for this. You can't.
And the most upsetting thing to everyone online is I can't find any communications with Trump.
Yeah. Well, even when he's mentioned, other than there is that fake. There is an eyewitness that come to find out that the FBI found not credible. It happened at a place that they proved that didn't happen. So there is some.
It didn't even exist.
Yeah.
She claimed she was at a Trump golf course.
Well, he didn't own it.
Exist till 7.
I think that's what it was.
But she named it as the Trump golf course that existed 7 years after the event.
It was a complete BS. It was a Candace Owens account.
Yeah.
That's what we have.
No, Candace Owens, you have to believe.
Oh, that's true. Sean and Megan definitely tried.
Hold on.
Hold
on, wait. Somebody just knocked on my door. Give me 1 sec.
No worries. I'll hit some.
I will be right back. Somebody just knocked on my door.
Sean and Megan definitely tried vibrating the prostate massager. Patriot Source, who I think is adorable, is talking about you right now and everything that went down with the crazy lady snowballing in everyone's favor, especially you, Gary. Go Detroit Tigers. Go Detroit. Lynn, I'm going to come see you. We're going to go to a Detroit game. My kids have never been. I've never been to the new Co-America Park. I used to go there. My grandfather had season tickets, and he used to take me there all the time. FM Gary, your loyal folks know the truth. That definitely includes me. If Jesse is in here, whoever you are, I heard they sell tampons at Walmart. Appreciate you, buddy. Lucas.
Apologies, Amazon delivery.
I want to get back to my question. I want your prediction for the midterms. But great show. Thanks for the insight, Lucas. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. So Paxton was the other one that I was concerned about, and to me, between Massey and Paxton, I was like, oh, we're doing much better than I was very optimistic. I was hoping and praying that this was all BS and that the reality that they were portraying on X especially wasn't the truth. And man, it far exceeded my expectations. MAGA's still running stuff.
Well, I think it showed that the president is still the kingmaker. Yeah, he really holds the economic, because let's be real about this. When it comes to Massey, like none of us knew who the fuck Ed Gallerine was.
Yeah.
He got elected on the fact that Trump said elect him, which is, let's be real, that's some gangster shit. Right. He was like, yo, you don't know this dude. Elect him. And we were like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Right. But so like I would say that what I was really worried about is that, like, when I evaluate the president and Congress, I give Trump a B- right now, but I give the Republican controlled Congress an F, because they've not codified anything he wanted to do. They've not passed bills. They're not fighting to do things. So I think they've done a bad job.
Yeah.
But I recognize that, sadly, for the Democrats, they still have no good ideas. Like, they still have nothing that people can rally behind. They're still running on, well, Trump's bad, right? And I think, weirdly enough, I think the American people are resonating with the idea of, we might need to give the Republicans more time, right? We might need to give Trump more time to enact it. So 3 months ago, I would have told you that we were going to get smashed in the midterms. Not just because Republicans haven't been doing their job, but because historically, the party in power loses the midterms.
Yep.
So I would say that worst case scenario, we lose the House and keep the Senate. More likely scenario, our ownership of the House shrinks and we keep the Senate. And best case scenario, we extend in the House and the Senate. But I would say more than likely what we're going to see is the margin in the House get really close and we maintain the Senate.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a little bit more optimistic now too, because of the redistricting that they just did. Because of
if that all goes through, we're going to dominate.
Yeah,
it's going to be like Undertaker at WrestleMania type of dominate,
which is what should have been happening for the last 50 years before they started illegally.
But how dare we redistrict just like
based on color.
Illinois does?
Based on color. Strange. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think I'm definitely much more optimistic. We'll see.
And wait, you're Texas, right?
I'm in West Virginia. I'm from Texas. I grew up in Texas.
Oh, so you're from Texas, West Virginia. So like Texas disappoints me as far as their ability to be conservative. Like I live in the free state of Florida, and we like DeSantis don't fuck around. Like, I'm not saying Ken Paxton would be more helpful if he wasn't in a wheelchair, but I feel like DeSantis is the true conservative governor doing his thing. And I think I would like to see more of that from Texas. Now, West Virginia, you guys handle your business.
They pass that no property tax thing, and a little Gary Mellon's going to be. I've been saying this for years. Like, as long as there's property tax, you own nothing ever. And I've always said, the moment that there is a state that doesn't do property tax, I will be living in that state. So start looking for me.
It's on the ballot. It's on the ballot this year, and I will tell you, it's going to pass with 99% of the vote.
Find me a house. I'll come and move next door to you.
Like, we'll hang out. I'm currently selling my shit.
Pancakes with Nutella, actually. Anything with Nutella. I'll be honest with you, Aaron. I never have, I've never seen the appeal of Nutella.
Wait, what?
No, I'm not a big thing. I'm not big on Nutella.
Okay, now I'm judgmental. Because Nutella is delicious, dude.
You just unfriended me. I unfriend you.
Oh, but dude, I'm telling you right now, Nutella is like, you could put Nutella on shit. I'm gonna eat the shit. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's just delicious.
It's good. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. It is good.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, liberal women, I don't like you, but you rub yourself in Nutella, we're getting married.
Fair enough. I'm going to pull up this picture in just a second, since the next comment is referencing that. So, where did I see this? Gary Elizabeth's post on Erica is in the private chat. Awesome. Thank you. We'll see that. Pull that up. DDS Allen says, Gary, I saw Magnus on X. I bet he's pretty amazing. Give him hugs. So yeah, Magnus is my dog. He's my dog. And I'm going to go ahead and share a picture of him because he's my buddy. He's a Cane Corso. He's about 135 pounds now. And I had a dog before him, a Cane Corso, that we lost.
That's a damn good name, by the way, for a Cane Corso.
I appreciate that. Let me see. Of course, there's a problem with uploading the image file. But he is a beast of a dog. We'll see if this uploads. If not, then
I travel too much. I can't have a dog. I can't have a human-sized dog with me.
Yeah, it's I'm not going to say that it's not a logistic issue from time to time. That's for sure.
No, I have a red healer. She's amazing. She travels everywhere with me. She's a service dog.
Those are great dogs. I need to get him service dog certified. Let me see if
hold on, wait. I'll put this out for everyone in your chat, guys. Look, I know that the airlines tell you need to have a service dog. You got to take her through training and all that shit. Let me be real with y'all. I took my dog through all the training. She's completely trained. She's good to go. And then all they required from me was a single-page document that they never verified. So if you want to fly your dog for free, fuck the training, make sure your dog's well-behaved, fill out the one-page document and put your number as you, and then put your wife's number as the trainer, and just rock with it. They won't check. I'm so sorry I took her to all the damn training. Oh my God, that's a beautiful dog.
Yeah, he's a great dog. He's awesome. He's awesome. There you go.
And he's still quite young.
He just turned a year old yesterday.
Yeah.
Or maybe, it was yesterday, June 2nd.
So he's going to be much bigger.
He'll probably get 145-ish. He's got another year to grow. So we'll see where he ends up. I would buy a version of that shirt. There you go. I think he's talking about your hat.
That is a good looking dog.
He is a good looking dog. Do you think Elon Musk has something to do with the new right to start a political party? I don't think he wants to be anything involved with what's going on like with this. I think Elon, if he wanted to, he could dump a bunch of money and start a political party, but I don't think it would be this. I think this is completely outside of his purview, to be honest with you. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think Elon hates politics.
I agree.
I think he got brought into it and he rocked with it, but I legitimately think he hates politics.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I think he hates bureaucracy. especially.
Yeah.
Like I
Elon
think
is like, if y'all have ever seen Big Bang Theory, Elon Sheldon Cooper. Like he hates this shit.
My kids are always watching the Young Sheldon. That's a pretty good show. I'll sit down and watch that.
It's actually a really good show. I mean, it's got a little bit of pedophilia in it with his brother, but that was his fault. He lied about his age. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, like, but Big Bang Theory is a classic, and like Sheldon Cooper is like, I look at him and I'm like, this is fucking Elon. This is what's wrong with Elon.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Paramount, I could listen to you guys talk for hours. Great guests and great podcast chemistry. Absolutely. We need to have the elderly millennial on here more often for sure. I was away from my phone and couldn't comment, but love you too, Joe. SK double dub.
Thank you, SK. Look, I love when SK was getting started. She asked me for advice on posting, and I gave her a tiny bit of advice. And then she proceeded to absolutely crush it. Like, look, it was not my advice that did it, but I'm happy to have been a part of her journey.
Well, that's one of the things I told her too, is like she's 10 times better than she perceives herself. Mm-hmm. And she just needs to get out there and be confident and get in front of that camera as often as possible. I am looking for somebody. The next one is saying you got to watch the Ami Kozak skit of what's her name? Megyn Kelly. Tucker Carlson.
Ami does an amazing job.
He does. His impressions.
He got so famous from the fake being on The View because so many people really thought he was on The View, and it was just amazing.
I don't think I ever even seen that one. I don't think
he's hilarious.
Seeing him until it wasn't the Tucker. Oh, it was the Candace ones. It was all the Candace ones that kept popping up in my feed. We got Ami Kozak coming on pretty soon too.
Oh, I love him.
He's awesome. You know what? I'll try to find that. I was going through his feed. I couldn't find it right off the bat. I'm late. Hello, everyone. Colton, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you.
His Tucker impressions are phenomenal.
I those are my favorite.
And I will say, have you had on Nick Mattel?
We got him coming on tomorrow.
You got Nick on tomorrow?
Yeah, man.
Okay. I was just in Israel with Nick. And me and his wife are actually creating our own company, our own nonprofit for Israel and America. But awesome. I will tell you that Nick is the most, you guys can clock this. Nick is the most up and coming debate superstar that will exist in this country. This man will be the debate god of online media. He is brilliant, unbelievably well researched, and does not fuck around. Nick is amazing.
Jeanette, yes, I did read your previous super chat. I remember it specifically. I'll go back and try to find it. As a matter of fact, Jen, if you're in the chat somewhere, if you can go back and find hers and pull it up again, just to make sure that
you've got to find something to debate Nick about, to show how, like, he is amazing, dude.
What we need to do is get him. We need to find something that him and Andrew Wilson disagree on, and then.
So Andrew jumped on my TikTok live the other night.
Nice.
And I was debating about abortion, and he jumped on there and tried to challenge me on it on some bullshit account. And I was like, bro, you do recognize I know your voice, right? I know who you are. And he was like, yeah, but we're going to argue. And I mean, and the thing is like, I will tell you this. Andrew Wilson actually gave Nick love. He actually said that Nick is going to be the next top tier debater that exists on online media. And Andrew's amazing. But I when it comes to political stuff, especially Israel, I would be afraid to challenge Nick. He's so good.
That's awesome. Yeah, he is super sharp. Truth Matter says, I said from day one, Brian Harper was going to have a hard time winning his case because of Sean Ryan. Brian Harper came on my show as well. Of course, it didn't get as many views as Sean Ryan, but I covered a lot of stuff that wasn't covered on Sean Ryan. So if you guys want to go watch that show, you can. But I actually talked to the Beard lawyer. We talked about this. he doesn't think he's going to have a problem because of that. And here's why. Because the allegations that Candace is throwing at Brian Harpole, number one, he doesn't feel like, and again, there's a little bit of subjectivity there. He doesn't feel like either one of those appearances make him a public figure. That would be up to a judge and ultimately maybe even a jury to decide. But it doesn't matter.
A public figure, though.
He's not, for all intents and purposes. But it doesn't matter. There's two things here. Number one, if he wasn't a public figure, there would be less of a burden. But because let's say he is a public figure, that basically they would have to prove malice. And go watch my interview with the beard lawyer. I've done 2 shows with him. We ended up talking about both. The second time we brought in with the relevance of the Nashville case, they was awarded, a YouTuber was sued for $18 million successfully. And basically the beard lawyer basically said, what Candace has done is so much worse than what happened in that case. Malice pretty much couldn't be more clear. I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but go watch the show and all the different points. So he's not going to have a problem winning that case. I'm just telling you that right now. He's not going to.
It's going to be a slam dunk. I mean, what she did was so obvious, and what makes it worse is she ignored evidence, which is always bad when you're doing cases like that.
Yeah,
because he sent her evidence. It was like,
well, Erica
fucking there
gave her in her meeting on December 15th, gave her all the exculpatory evidence about his flight logs, about everything, his itineraries, is like, she knew. And let's say, for instance, and again, Rais and I talked about this. Let's say Candace looked over all that stuff and decided that she didn't believe any of it. Well, the fact that she didn't even mention it, the fact that she brought no balance to the conversation, and said, hey, look, you know what? Here's Mitch Snow, this guy that said that he was beat with a hammer by his wife, but he was actually the one with the hammer. And he also claims to be, the son of the Zodiac killer. This guy, I believe his story. But if she was an honest broker of information, she'd say, also, by the way, I don't believe it, but at least, Erica Kirk gave me this information that says Brian Harpole wasn't there. And also everything that he talked about on my show, and like the Fort Huachuca story didn't exist at the time. All the things that Candace is essentially accusing Brian Harpole and Mitch Snow, which is also, he's suing both Mitch Snow and Candace Owens. None of that was covered in either one of those discussions, because we didn't know, and neither did Brian Harpole know, that he was supposed to have been at Fort Huachuca on September 8th and 9th.
He didn't know he was planning the assassination of his buddy.
I mean, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
But again, the fact that she ignored that evidence is going to be the nail in her coffin.
Yeah. Amongst other things, he pointed out several things that his attorneys highlighted. And the other big thing with this is she began that whole show, as I stated earlier, that like, hey, like, this is so truthful, because she had 2 shows that covered Fort Huachuca. She accused Brian Harpole in both of those. The first one was on December 9th or 8th, December 8th or 9th. And the first Fort Huachuca story, she began that, like, what I'm telling you is so true that the U.S. government is going to have to come out and admit their involvement in the Charlie Kirk assassination. And then she went throughout that, claiming how credible, how believable, how truthful that Mitch Snow was. And then also began that show with, you know what, I was praying, and this was divinely inspired. This email I just clicked on, it was the first one, came to me in a dream, basically. Yeah, she's cooked. She's done. Coming in late, but good. Did you see that at Petersburg for bombs?
So St. Petersburg got bombed.
Yeah, I saw it on David Hook's.
And Candace is there.
Yes, they got bombed.
So this was probably Israel targeting her.
Of course. Why would it be anybody else? Maybe the French.
That's why I just call them the Baguette Squad.
Well, yeah, it is. Magnus is a patriot, whatever the hell she said.
No. She was saying, instead of a patriot, he's a patriot.
I got you. Oh, you're quicker. You're drinking. I'm not. You're on it. Joe, as a former trainer, I can relate to the FU club, LOL. Also, I used to be married to an engineer, so I get the Shelton brain too. Love the show.
Nice.
Love
I
the
see.
show.
Look, she's got the CrossFit plates in her profile picture. Absolutely.
Yep.
I used to own 7 of those gyms. I loved it.
Speaking of a cult.
No, look, first of all, CrossFit's not a cult. It is a fitness-minded community. We're a cult. We're absolutely a cult. No, I can't lie. I can't lie.
We're not
here's
cult.
the thing.
We're just a community that believes in Lord Xenu.
Here, I'll tell you this. You walk into a bar and you meet a Scientologist, a vegan, and a CrossFitter. Who's going to tell you about their religion first?
Oh, the CrossFitter. CrossFitter. Do you know what my wad was?
Exactly.
What I did today?
I know,
bro.
I know. It is a problematic community of very fit people.
I got my first rings muscle up, bro. Now I'm knocking out a dozen at a time. No, that's awesome. Well, listen, man. No, this has been a lot of fun. We got to do this again soon. We need to do this.
I'm down. I'm always like, I will tell you right now that you are somebody I've followed for a very long time. And when I got the invitation, I was like, when the fuck can I be there? What is the earliest date you have available? Because like you don't do opinionated bullshit. You do investigative, you do actual fact-based X, which is something that rarely exists on the platform. And I love that so much.
What I do, I throw a lot of opinion around there, but I do intentionally do my best to make sure that I'm never presenting my opinion as fact, and I try to separate those two things because I think it's important, and I do think that man, we need some truth in this, and unfortunately, we abandoned mainstream media, and then everybody jumped over to social media for these independent journalists, and they're making mainstream media look like, I don't know, the Bible. I mean, they're just abusing people. But no, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad we were able to get you on.
And I have to say, you were legitimately the first person to factually challenge Candace's narrative. Like, she ran with her bullshit, and people were like, "I think you're wrong." You were the first person really to say, "I'm going to spend my own money. I'm going to go here. I'm going to investigate it." And that is what set you apart. You weren't just arguing online. You were like, I'm going to pay my own shit. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to find out if what she's saying is true. And I fully believe that had you gone there and you found evidence supporting her narrative, you would have said it.
Yeah.
And that's what set you apart. You weren't somebody who was just arguing online. You did it in the real world. And that set you apart from that. And I really, really appreciate the work you put in for that.
Yeah, like I said, tomorrow, if something comes out, some new revelation, we have evidence that other things are involved, folks, I'm going to be the first one talking about it. But so far, you people over there pushing this conspiracy slop.
What do you mean by you people? No, I'm just kidding.
They know who I'm talking about. If you're still pushing exploding mics and, things that just defy physics, I'm not participating in your insanity. I'm just not. And you can call me whatever you want, but what you can't do is argue the facts. And you can't argue the facts. You got to attack me personally. You got to attack Joe personally. And the other thing that you can't do is present any real evidence to support anything that you got. So not only do you want me to believe something that you don't have evidence for, but the stuff that we do have evidence excludes your stupid theories. So you want me to believe something in spite of evidence against it with no evidence supporting your BS. And I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. So that's where I land on this. Well, give the viewer.
And I do love that you have built this platform this way. Like, look, all we can hope is that people like you overshadow people like Candace and Sean Ryan, because it's real talk and not like Sean's bought to me. Sean's controlled. So I wish you the best.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Well, give the viewers, I don't know, some encouraging words about whatever you want to cover, whether it's elections, politics.
All right. So the reality is, guys, the biggest thing I can tell you is that, one, Republicans have a much better chance in the midterms than I would have said 3 months ago. I think we are on a path where we are actually trying to make America better. And I will tell you this, none of the problems in your life, none of the failures that you got going on are because of the Jews. I promise you, the Jews are not holding you back. That's not what's stopping you from being successful. So if you have that thought, I need you to shut the fuck up, sit down, punch yourself in the face, and become a better person.
That's right. I love it. Love it. We did a couple quick super chats. Older Millennial, I'll send you my favorite bourbon if you send me yours.
I will tell you right now, I just bought these. So Gary, if you message me, I have these new things I just got. These are protected bourbon bottles. They are meant to fill with a little bit of bourbon so you can share your favorite bourbons around the world. I'm not promoting the company. They didn't pay me to do it. But so these little bourbon bottles, you can fill them up with your favorite bourbon and send them around. I recommend you get these. If you message me, I will send you some really good shit if you send me some really good shit.
Can't get a better deal than that. No, that's pretty cool. Coach Kimberly says, "Oh man, no CrossFit for me." Laughed my ass off. I have a bodybuilding and powerlifting records. You made me do another chat. LOL.
I was a professional powerlifter for 2 years, so I know the feeling.
Nice. Well, listen, Joe, man, this was awesome, man. I'm glad I got to finally meet you in person, and you exceeded my expectations. You're better
Absolutely.
than you are.
I couldn't have been happier to meet you, brother. I tell you, when I got the invitation, I was beyond excited to have a conversation with you.
Well, that's cool to hear. That's cool to hear. Yeah, and I'm serious.
And if you're right about the 3rd, I swear to God, I'll be there.
I'll send you my address.
All right, sure I'll be there.
I'll send you my phone number in a chat. But anyways, you can come here. Bring the family. You can stay. We got a guest room. Come hang out for a day.
Absolutely. I will absolutely be there. Like I said, it's to meet you in person would be phenomenal. To meet Gad Sad, I mean, look, if he needs a hand job, I got him. I mean, whatever he needs.
Well, there it is, folks. I mean, you can't end it on anything other than that. Listen, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate all your love and support. We appreciate, make sure you like, share all the stuff I'm supposed to say, but really, seriously, share our content. That's the way that we grow our audience. That's the way we spread our message. And I'm also very serious about people out there. Look, folks, some of you are meant to have a 5-10 million following. You got to get out there. You got to quit being afraid. Hit record on that camera or that phone, and you're meant to do something great. And we need your voice. We need your sanity in this sea of lies and insanity. So,
and he's 100% right. I promise you.
Yep.
With a little bit of effort, with very little effort, you could be a much better content creator than me. Believe me, we need you.
Yep, we need you out there, folks. You guys, the vast majority of you are smarter, better looking, all those things. So hit record, put your thoughts out on there, see what happens, and then do it again for the next 6 months every day or whatever it is. I'm telling you.
And can I also say,
yeah,
your producer, Jen, amazing, so much fun to talk to. She is so awesome. Informative and tenacious as fuck. She will hassle the shit out of you. He's got great producers, and from what I've seen in the chat, he has even better mods.
Yep, our mods are great. Our viewers are great. We love you guys. Our audience is awesome. Jen is great. I keep trying to get my wife up here, but she won't do it. She'd be another great voice too.
She's had enough of you.
She has had enough of me. She wants to sit here and talk with me for 4 hours or whatever it is. Listen, Joe, thank you so much. Audience, thank you so much. Joe, you don't go anywhere, but for everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, all those things. But until next time, stay armed, stay ready. We'll talk to you soon.